I think we are live. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little bit of a technical issue there. So welcome to the Sam Goodman Mark Sleeves pay-per-view watch along, the live watch along. And yeah, I don't know what I did then, but it wouldn't go live. Isn't that always the way? If you don't test it, it's not going to work. So this is it, the big one. Well, the big one. Is it a big one? Big event. It's always good to watch these shows. So if you're just watching along and you've either got the fight on or you didn't want to buy the fight and you just wanted to get live updates, then all good. Welcome to the show. I'm just going to check our stream to make sure we're going okay. Now, if you're not sure how this works, it's just, well, I've got the volume down, so if you're looking in there to watch the fight or listen to the fight, I can't help you, unfortunately. This is a live watch along, which means we just watch along together, like our talking boxing show is, and comment, whatever it might be. We have actually got the ability for you guys to come on if you would like. So we're going to do it in between the fights, if we can. And I'm just going to check my stream to make sure. Yes, we are live. Okay, so there's a couple of you guys out there. So yeah, apologies. I don't know what happened. Hope the lighting and the sound. Hope it's a lot better than last week. I've got my trusty microphone here, better microphone. I've got the light happening. So hopefully the stream's coming along to you guys fine. Give us some comments there if you would like. Now let me just see. Now, I don't know what's happened as far as, there we go. All right. So if you want to put a comment in the chat, make sure you do. We'll score along with these fights. That last one was good too. I only saw the girls, so didn't see the earlier fights. Who was it? It was the last set of fights. It was a really good fight. Chloe Gretsch and Connie Brown. Now, I must admit, I thought Connie Brown did enough to get the decision, but yeah, I thought she won at least 3 rounds. But anyway, I think, got a feeling that Chloe Gretsch was the hometown girl. So it is what it is, as they say. All right, who we got there? Casper. Oh, good. The comments are coming up tonight. They weren't coming up last week, I don't think, from memory. So apologies for that. What do you got there, Casper? Still not sure if I'll buy it yet. Very tempting to see Goodman KO sleeves. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We always, something, I've been guilty of it myself. So I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. And then right at the last minute, you buy it. Look, it's $50. It's still a lot of money. I understand that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, if you think about if you're going to go to the fight, I think the tickets started like $90, which is just unbelievable. I would have thought, considering you get fights to see Tim Tszyu or one of these, or who was, I think George Kambosos, Vasily Lomachenko. I think they started like $35 or $40. But I suppose they know that in Wollongong they're going to get the crowd, aren't they? People are going to pay the money. So you think about doing the sums. I don't expect this card to do many numbers at all. I will be honest with you as far as the pay-per-view goes. But if you think they might get 5,000 there, and geez, if the tickets start at $90, let's just say the average ticket's $200. I don't know, and they get 5,000 there. What's that? It's 100,000. No, it's more. It's about $1 million, is it? Hang on, I've got my zeros mixed up. 5,000 times 200. There you go, $1 million. Holy shit! So, and I don't think these fighters would be getting paid that much. I wouldn't have thought. So, yeah, I mean, we've all criticised the event, including me, stuck the boots into No Limit. But if you think I think it's only got 1,000 views written all over it, if you ask me, and that's probably being generous. I mean, I don't know how all this works with the numbers and all that sort of stuff, but you know, they've only got 1,000 views, even 2,000 views. What's that? 10? It's only it's another 100, isn't it? So they would get the main event would get half of that. So look, they'll still make some good money out of it. So I'm assuming Sam Goodman will get looked after pretty well. All right, who we got there? So Zigmont in the chat. Entertaining female bout in the prelims. Yeah, that's the only prelim fight I saw. Sorry, Zigmont. So I can't sort of comment on any of the others. I did want to see Campbell Somerville's fight, though. But I missed it, yeah. So, entertaining female bout on the prelims. Great boxing clinic put on by Charlie Kazi against the tough PNG fighter. Yeah, well, I'll have to watch that back a little bit later, Zigmont. But, yeah, I didn't see that one. All right, who else we got there? Casper again. Not a huge fan of Schliebs, but no doubt he's increased the pay-per-view, I would say. Well, I think so. I mean, I think you said it yourself there. Are you tempted to see Goodman get his hands on Schliebs? Look, all things aside with the fight itself, I think that Mark Schliebs gives Sam Goodman a really good fight. Does he win? No, I don't think he's got any chance whatsoever. I think Sam Goodman wins 9-3, 10-2 or something like that. That's the way I think it rolls. I think Sam Goodman goes through the gears and does enough just to win the rounds. I think Schliebs is competitive but just doesn't come close to winning. I don't know, they'll hug it out at the end of it, but yeah, look, I've got no dramas with the fight itself. I've said this before. I know I've been critical of the event, but it's mainly because we're being asked to pay $50. Now, normally it's $60, so we've been asked to pay $50. It's still a lot of money if you consider that a Tim Tszyu fight or the Kambosos fight are all $60. The overseas fights you sort of get for $30, $40, maybe $50. So the fact we're being asked to pay for this, and let's face it, I think we can all agree this is not a pay-per-view worthy event. However, No Limit have got, I know I've talked about this before, but they have X amount of pay-per-views they have to do for the year to keep Fox Sports and Main Event happy. So they've just had who's the next one in line, and Sam Goodman, this is it. So I don't think if they had the way, they would be going out of the way to say, look, this is a big fight, it has to be on pay-per-view. I think they're just thinking, geez, we've got to fill our calendar with these pay-per-view events. Probably the same thing with the Wednesday night on Fox. So, I mean, you can't blame him in that way, but as you've all seen, I've been very critical of the fact that they just haven't been organised. That's probably the main thing. If you know you've got to have 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year, and you know you've got to have half a dozen Fox, well, what are they? No Limit on Fox. Then surely you would have some sort of idea with your fighters who's going to headline each one. And look, let's face it. I don't think we're all overly concerned with the undercard. I know we all like a full stack card of fights. I understand that, but I think it just comes down to the main event. If you've got a really, really good, juicy main event, you're not that stressed about the undercard. You want to be entertained. You want 50-50 fights, but not after that star-studded undercard, which is what No Limit, I will be fair, have been good at in the past. But so far, those shows, anyway, I won't keep going on with that, but I just think they haven't got the main events right. In this instance here, I know with Sam Goodman, they wanted to keep him busy. He obviously wanted a payday. He said that himself at the weigh-in. So I haven't got a dramas with the fight itself. It's just the fact that it's a pay-per-view. And to be honest with you, I reckon they could have almost had Isaac Hardman as the pay-per-view. Maybe, I don't really know much about who was it? Saavedra? Is that how you pronounce it? I did look him up on YouTube the other day, and he's okay. He's solid. He'll give Isaac some rounds. Don't worry about that. Who is it? So it's Endri Saavedra. So I did look him up on YouTube, and he's capable. He's tough. He's hard. I think he'll be there for the majority of the fight. Whether or not Isaac can get him out of there a bit later on, we'll see, I suppose. But he's solid. All right, let's go to a couple of comments there. What do we got? If I can make the comments move. Sorry if I've missed. There it is. I'll go back. All right. There's Shamrock 11. Training drill for Somerville. His opponent not up to it. Not a knee. Was that not a knee a couple of times, or got a knee a couple of times before being waved off? Okay. Well, it's good to see Campbell Somerville back, because you would have seen his last, I think it was his last fight against Seti. He was on the wrong end of a real belt. Was it a belting, I suppose you'd call it, or beat down? But he's a good kid, Campbell. Always comes to fight. Really, really good value for money. All right, what else? So Jack, how are you, Jack Dilks? The Port Adelaide official photographer. Welcome to the show, mate. We'd love to see Sam show us a different side tonight, especially if he thinks he's got Inouye next, going off his last fight. He lasts around in there with Naoya. Yeah, look, it wasn't the greatest performance from Sam Goodman, was it, Jack? But as they always say, styles make fights, and maybe his opponent wasn't really there to get the win, as a lot of these opponents are, the B side, and they tend to go through the motions and just want to survive. But look, I think tonight you might see a different type of Sam Goodman. You're going to see Sam Goodman that's going to try and take Schliebs out. I think that's a given. First of all, there's obviously the dislike of Mark Schliebs, but also the fact he's at home now, fighting in front of your own crowd, does weird and wonderful things to you. He's going to go out there looking for a knockout. Make no mistake about it. Now, does that play into Mark Schliebs' hands? Mark's more of a counter-puncher type, pretty sharp. He can punch, obviously. So maybe that's one of the reasons why he's been trying to get into Sam Goodman's head. But, yeah, I suppose we'll see. But I just think make no mistake, that Sam Goodman's going to come out hard tonight and try and get Mark Schliebs out of there. All right, I'll go through the comments here. I don't know why it... what do we got there? Casper. Still not sure. Oh, that's the first one, isn't it? Sorry. I don't know why it does that, but we'll keep going down the comments here. Maybe if I extend it, that might do it. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah, Shamrock took a knee. Thanks, mate, for clarifying that. Jaden Kuzak. Some people can't afford to pay for small fights like this, and I totally understand that, Jaden, and I totally don't blame the people out there that can't afford or aren't prepared to pay $50 for it. No dramas at all. I'm sort of getting, of course, because I've got a YouTube show and I like to be interactive with you guys. But if someone said to me, look, it's $50, do I need to spend it or I don't? Should I buy it? I would say no. I wouldn't waste your money. I won't say waste your money, but I think there's better ways to spend $50 if you ask me. Especially when you've got a YouTube show on here that's going to call the shots right throughout the evening, Jaden. Now we're on to the next. This is the first fight of the main card. So Zeke Campbell, Laban Stringer. So it's over 6 rounds. So I did see the weigh-in of this fight. Both of them looked ready to go. That long, hard stare down. So we'll see if that translates into a good fight. Jaden says, no, Sammy personally, and still can't justify paying $50 for these fights. Mate, as I said, 100% agree. I'm with you. And I was actually up in the air whether I was going to pay for it myself. But, look, as I said, I've got the YouTube show. And, and sometimes I just can't help myself with these. But, look, is it worth the $50, Jaden? Absolutely not. On paper. Who knows? You might get an absolutely rip-snorting card and a great main event. And who knows? We might all be saying it's one of the fights and cards of the year. But I think on paper, I think you justify it for saying, yeah, no, I think I'll save my $50. There's Zigmont. I like the Isaac Hardman interview earlier. He was honest about the pre-fight nerves and the anxiety of waiting around in the changing rooms. How nervous did you get before fights, Lyndon? Look, that's the thing, Zigmont, to be honest with you, I shit myself before every single fight. And I was only amateur, shit myself before every fight. I really did. Although I will say, and I'm sure Isaac and all the others are the same, once you're actually in the ring, as we start round one, by the way, I'll get some of the fight by blow by blow things happening in a moment. But the worst time was when you hear the bell ring for the fight before you, the fight to end the fight before you. That's probably the most nervous time because that's when the stomach tends to shrink. And already Stringer's come out hard against Campbell, I will say, so we'll see what happens here. But Zigmont, when the bell rings, mate, or actually when you actually step in the ring and everything else and get introduced, it's just business as usual, mate. So, but yeah, it's not much fun, I can tell you. You always question why the hell you do this to yourself. There's Tommy B. How are you, Tommy? Welcome to the show, mate. Nath Mays, welcome to you too, mate. Kyle Champion, how are you there, Kyle? I would not want to be a judge in that Gretch Brown fight. Well, I thought Brown did enough, Kyle. This is going to go down to the wire as well already, you can tell. So 1 of 6, and Stringer's come out hard. Campbell, Southpaw, looks nice and sharp. But yeah, we'll see if Stringer can maintain his pace so far. Tommy says, looking forward to seeing how this Zeke Campbell looks. Well, he's had a few raps, hasn't he, Tommy? I was actually the same. I've never seen him fight before. I must admit, I did look him up after this fight was announced, just do a little bit of research on the guys. And he looked okay, but sometimes you only look as good as the competition you fight. And Stringer, even though I don't know a lot about him, I know he's tough and hard and comes to fight. So I'll be interested to see how this pans out. Stringer looks like he's getting the best of the first round just by pure work rate. But you can tell already that Zeke Campbell just weathering the storm, getting his range. And already Stringer, what have we got, a minute left in the first round. Looks like he's as I say that, he starts to pour on some shots, but just starting to wind down a little bit. And this is probably where you might see Zeke Campbell just pick it up after the first round, I would say. Great to have so many of you guys in the chat, by the way. They're always unsure who you're going to get. Speak of what you're going to get. Big J in the house. Anyone actually pay for this? Yeah, I did. Sorry, mate. I did. See what I do for you guys out there. And Stringer really turning on here in the first round. But Zeke Campbell, he's boxing well. Good defence. I'd like to see him get off the ropes, though. Stringer with a bloody nose already. He's just won the round just by that work rate. But I think I can see the fight going that Zeke Campbell's going to get through this first round. Stringer's going to wind down a little bit. I think you're going to see Zeke Campbell get on top as his fight goes on. He's not a guy, though, Stringer. He comes to fight, no doubt about that. Now, Zeke Campbell, I think, is from Wollongong too, from memory. All right, so Casper says, how do you think Mazudia will go? I don't know a lot about his opponent, to be honest, Casper. I did look him up the other day, like I did with a couple of these other guys, but there's not a lot around that I can see. I think, it's Dulcie, isn't it? Is that how you pronounce it, Dulcie? So he's the third fight on the card. So Cohen Mazudia, Travis Drusi. Is it? Is that how you pronounce it? I hope I've got it right. Druce or Drusi. I'm a real rap for Cohen Mazudia. I like what he brings to the fight nights. I think he's an honest guy. Do I think he's world level? Probably not, but that's up to him to prove us or prove me wrong, and anyone else there that feels the same way. But I really like what he brings. He's very sure of himself, always comes prepared mentally and physically, and just tells it the way it is. That's why I really like him. He doesn't. It might be a little bit of banter, but he's just like, hey, bro, let's get it on and shake hands and let's go. And that's what I like about him. And just you always know what you're going to get with him. And there is talk he's going to be Nikita Zhu's next opponent, which I think will be a really, really good fight. He's got to get through tonight, of course, but I'd really like to see that fight. I think he'll give Nikita a tough night at the office. I think Nikita wins, but Cohen Mazudia, very tough, honest fighter. All right, so I gave that first round to Stringer. We've just started round number 2. If you're watching Campbell in the pink with the red hair. I'm not sure that goes that well, but anyway, and Stringer in the black. So I think I gave, let's say, Stringer the first round. All right. Kyle says, evening, Lyndon. I think I'll let you be my eyes for this one. Hit the like button. Well, if you want to come on, feel free. Oh, I better put the link in there. I'll do it after this fight, guys. I'll put the link in if you want to come on. Tommy B, he says, I do, Big J, but I buy all of them. Ha. I think the Hardman fight makes it a little more worthwhile. They just want the Goodman headline because it's in Wollongong, but that Hardman fight is decent. Yeah, it is. And as I said, I watched a little bit of Saavedra on YouTube, and he'll give Isaac a hard fight. You've got to remember, too, 2016 Olympian. Now, you don't get to the Olympic Games unless you can fight. I think we all realise that. And a recent one was 8 years ago. So I think he's going to give Isaac some problems. I think Isaac wins because he's a little bit mechanical for me. He's Saavedra. I think to beat Isaac, you've got to have a couple of dimensions to you as far as your ability goes. I think if he's just a stand up and down type of one-dimensional type of fighter, it just makes it pretty easier on the head splitter. And because Isaac's not a really multi-dimensional fighter either. He's very up and down as well and looks for the big punches. So I think if you stand in front of him and don't really give him any angles or any footwork, then he'll get the job done. Got to say here, guys, too, the second round, Stringer's I'm going to say started, but we're 2 minutes into the second round. But he's continued on in this round. He's blooded up. He's looking a little bit fatigued, but I think he's winning this round as well. Zeke Campbell, he's got some okay punches there. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of power, though. So whether that can keep off a bull like Stringer, we'll see. But we're only 2 rounds down. So, and he's, as I say that, Campbell starts to land a couple of pesky straight punches on him there. We'll keep going down the comments there. There's Mark Wynn. How are you, Mark? Afternoon all. And no, I definitely not paying money for this card. Well, that's what I do this for, guys. See, I'll give you a bit of a description of each fight. You can get live updates. I'm not sure if anyone else is doing this, by the way. I'm sure there's someone out there. I don't think there's anyone live. I did see before the fight went live before. I'm not sure what they're doing, whether it's just a preview or not. But The more the merrier, I suppose. Big J, not worth. Not worth $50, let alone 60. Yeah, well, do you think? I'll just put it out there. Do you think that if they had made the fight like $30, do you think, or 25, $30? Let's say $30. Do you think that would have made a difference to you guys and girls out there watching the fights now? Would that have made the difference? Is it purely the $50, which is already discounted from 60, or is it the fact that they're actually asking you to possibly that? If they're actually asking you to pay it all, is that the issue? Because I'll be honest, I don't think it's worth $10. I think it's worthy of a Wednesday night on Fox show, not a pay-per-view at all. But tell me what you guys think. Jaden says Brown should have taken that away. Yeah, I agree. I think she thought so too by looking at her face, by the way. Pretty nasty bump on her head too, wasn't it? I thought she won 3, if not 4 out of 4, to be honest. I thought little, what was her name? Was it not Connie? That was the other one. Chloe Gretsch. Look, game, tough, hard, everything else, but I just don't think she did enough to win into the rounds. I'd probably like to see that Gretsch. I'm not sure what the actual weights were. I'll look in a sec. I'd like to see that Gretsch maybe in against someone like an Amber Amelia. Very similar height and physique and everything like that and style. I think that'd be a really entertaining fight. I'll just see what weight that was forward at. I'm sure someone will put it in the chat there. But so what's Amber Amelia? I think she's 122, maybe 118. So it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't actually say what the rounds were. So let me know in the chat there, guys. What was the weight of that fight? Cole Champion. I've got a feeling you're going to know the weights of that fight. But I think just looking at it, I think that would be a really good fight. Now, sorry, guys, we're a minute into the third round here. And I haven't watched 1 second of the third round. I'm sorry. I did give the first 2 rounds to Stringer. However, Zeke Campbell, I'm pretty sure he's the hometown boy. So let's see if that has a bearing. All right, we'll keep going. I've got a few comments there. Sorry, guys. It doesn't scroll down like my normal show does on Talking Boxing, so I've got to physically go down. All right. Big J, Hardman, no good, mate. Got sparked by, is that by Zarafa? Yeah. Well, what do you guys think they're talking about in fighting maybe Charlo? The middleweight Charlo I'm talking about, not the 154-pound Charlo. Look, I hope for Isaac's sake, his sake, it happens. But is this another? Oh, look, I know he's the birthday boy, but George Rose tends, as they say, talks it up a little bit. Do you think he's put it out there just for some extra clicks and some headlines, all that sort of stuff? Because we know the Australian media, especially the main newspapers and websites in Australia that aren't necessarily boxing sites, have absolutely no idea and just eat up whatever they get fed, by the way. So I've seen they've all reported it. Is it a realistic thing? I don't think so. I think Isaac would need a really good scalp. A couple, maybe even a couple of really good world-class scalp. Now, he might get that, and that's awesome. I love Isaac, by the way. One of my favourite Aussie fighters, but as a person, love the way he fights. But we've got to, as they say, Noonan boy, if he's watching levels, and I just don't think Isaac's quite there. Well, he's not there anywhere near it yet. So let's hope fights like tonight. So he's third in a row, I think, since the Zarafa loss. So maybe, they're gearing up towards that. But I think Charlo, I don't think he's even looking to fight the real elite fighters in middleweight at the moment, let alone an Isaac Hardman from Australia that no one's ever heard of. So is it a case of talking it up? As I said, I've just got a feeling that No Limit just like to always keep the carrot dangled out there as this might happen and that might happen. I know we've got Goodman with the Inaway thing, and now we've got Hardman with the Charlo thing. Make no mistake, they are the premier boxing promotional company in Australia. They want everyone, at the moment, they want everyone to know that. And what better way to do that is to keep saying, well, this fight's going to happen, and we're talking to this guy and that guy, and we're going to bring Inaway to Australia, and we're going to bring Charlo to Australia, or maybe Isaac goes over there. Look, and that's great marketing. It really is. Because they could probably get away with it. They could probably say these types of things, and people aren't really going to question it. The hardcore fans will, but the average Joe Blow out there isn't going to question it. They're going to go, oh, wow, is that right? Holy shit. You know, these are probably the same ones that thought Anthony Mundine was going to fight Canelo Alvarez at the MCG in front of 100,000 people. But I get what they're doing, and they've got to keep reinforcing that we are number one, and we've got maybe Charlo and Hardman, and maybe Inouye and Goodman, and maybe Shakur Stevenson, Liam Wilson. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway. What are we at? So Mark says, I'll pay 60 for Tim's fight, but not for Nikita just yet. Yeah. Maybe they could scale it down to maybe $50 for Nikita. I don't think his cards cost a hell of a lot. No, Tim's cards obviously cost a shitload. So why are they sort of the same price? I don't know. Look, for me, it all depends on who they put Nikita in with. I was quite prepared for the Dylan Biggs fight. No drama. If it's Colin Mazzuti, I'd pay that. Now, sorry, guys, we're a minute into round number 4. Sorry, I've taken my eyes off the ball here. Zeke Campbell and, is it Laban Stringer? Really starting to heat up. Stringer, though, he's coming along. Zeke Campbell seems to have found his range a bit more, trying to pick it up a little bit now. But in a 6-round fight, has Stringer won all 3 rounds. He has slowed down a fair bit, though, I will say, Stringer. And Zeke Campbell starting to pick it up a little bit. Jaden agrees. He says, what's that? Agree with you, mate, but this is hard to justify. Yeah. Nath May says, enjoying watching the stance switching. Yeah, he's got some skills. But I don't know. Has he lost all 3 rounds? I don't know. I think he definitely lost the first 2 rounds. But this round, I think he's got the better of Stringer. But pretty hard fight to score because you've got Zeke Campbell, pity-patting, good defence. You got Stringer who's coming forward, throwing the bombs, but not really landing a lot now. I think Zeke Campbell's definitely taking the points in this one, but he needs to get off the ropes. Why make the job easier for Stringer by laying on the ropes? If he gives Stringer some lateral movement and some angles, I don't think Stringer can go with him, but he's just lying on the ropes. Why would you give your opponent that type of advantage? I don't understand. Anyway, what do I know? Kyle, when you can, chuck in the link. I will, mate. After this fight, I'll chuck it in the chat. So if you don't know, guys, yeah, if you want to come on and have a quick chat, you can. If not, the chat here on the screen is enough. But if you actually want to come on the telecast and talk about the fights, feel free. All right, Tommy says, I think Hardman in the long term will have learned a lot from Zarafa. But yes, it did show levels at the time and stage of the careers. And look, I'll give Isaac Hardman full credit. No, I forgot the Murdoch fight, by the way. He came back. He took on a really, really good fighter. Well, that's an understatement, is that Rowan Murdoch, as Stringer goes after Zeke Campbell. Really good round, this one, I will say. The 4th round, I think it is. As it ends, I'd probably give Zeke Campbell that very, very narrowly, to be honest. So I'd have it probably 3 rounds to 1. But yeah, look, he took the Murdoch fight, went up in weight, by the way, in that fight, so you've got to give him even more credit. And then even after that loss, has had 2 really good wins since then, and now he's stepping up again tonight. So, and look, I really hope he gets his shot at those types of fighters. I just don't think that maybe No Limit sometimes believe even what they say. So, Jaden says 30 is the most I'd likely pay or buy it for. Yep. It seems to be the mark. Robbie Jones, how you going, Robbie? I'd rather watch Hardman than Sam, but unfortunately it's not worth the $50. That's why we're here tuning in, mate. Well, sorry, I haven't been much use to you guys out there yet, but I've got it 3 rounds to 1 after 4 rounds. And it's interesting, I did a poll on Instagram, and 78%. We had about 120 people that responded. 78% said they weren't going to buy the fight. And I'm assuming nearly all the followers on the Boxing Deep Dive page are obviously boxing fans, or else they wouldn't be following the page. So to think that 78% of the normal boxing fans aren't going to buy this fight, is it going to send a message to No Limit? Maybe. All right, guys. Tommy B. Campbell clearly got some boxing pedigree, but have to respect him wanting to punch on with Stringer. Yeah, but sometimes, Tommy, hey, it's great to say, hey, well done, Zeke Campbell, or whoever it might is, you've took him head on and everything else. But if he takes an L, what's that going to achieve? So I just think, do what you've got to do to win the fight. Don't worry about pleasing the fans. Don't worry about putting on a show. Don't worry about the fact that it's in your hometown, whatever. Get the win. And in this fight especially, to lay on the ropes against someone like Stringer, who's probably not the most multi-dimensional fighter out there, brave and tough, no doubt about that. But by laying on the ropes, why give him any more advantage than what you would need to? So he's starting to get a little bit more centre ring now, which is what he needs to do. He has to get off the ropes and start giving Stringer some angles. And I gave him the last round. He's probably winning this round as well, is Zeke Campbell. He should almost lose a round just for wearing pink trunks with red hair. But anyway, I'm joking. If he watches this back, I'm only joking. Any Zeke Campbell fans out there? But pink and red just don't go together. Get off the ropes, Zeke. Sorry, all you guys out there that can't see this, but he continues to lay on the ropes. And when he lays on the ropes, he allows Stringer to punch. There's no he's going from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring and doing the same thing. That doesn't count. All right. Who we got there? Luke. Hi, please respond. Big fan of your vids. Think head splitter, unanimous decision or KO, and I'm a little boxer myself. Well, welcome to the show, Luke. Great to have you along, mate. Not sure you've been on the telecast before, but, mate, all the best with your career. How many fights have you had? Let us know. What did you say there, please? Big fan. Think head splitter, unanimous decision or KO. I'm thinking unanimous decision, Luke. I think this Savadra is tough and hard, and I know he's a Mexican who lives in Venezuela or a Venezuelan that lives in Mexico. Either way, but doesn't matter. He's going to be tough as nails, and I think he goes. What is it? Is it a 10-rounder? I think it is. I think he goes 10 hard rounds with Isaac Hardman, which I think would be absolutely perfect for Isaac's development. But welcome to the show, Luke. All right, Zygmunt. Campbell is more skilled, longer and faster, but Stringer is having a good old crack. He is. You can't begrudge him that, Zygmunt. And here he comes again. And Zeke comes back. So if you're not watching, guys, and 78% of you out there aren't watching it, that's the end of the 5th round, by the way. I'm going to give that round very, very closely to Zeke Campbell. I thought Stringer had his moments. I'm still bewildered why Zeke Campbell's corner isn't telling him to get off the ropes. Because whenever he gets off the ropes and gives Stringer some range and some angles, Stringer can't get near him. And he's peppering away with those punches. And then he goes back and lies on the ropes. And Stringer just walks up and starts banging away. So could come down to the last round. I think it's 3 rounds to 2 for Stringer. However, with the hometown advantage, maybe you could swing it the other way and it might be 3-2 in favour of Campbell. But I think Stringer won the first 3 rounds and Zeke Campbell the last 2. So let me know if you are watching. The 22% of you out there that are watching, let us know what you think. Oh, okay. Luke, sorry. Previous comment was from my stepdaughter. Well, what's your stepdaughter's name there, Luke? Let us know. And all the best. The female boxing is just absolutely flying at the moment. So the best thing that she can do and all other young people out there, even if they don't actually get in there and compete, to get in there and actually do boxing and all the discipline that comes with it and the fitness and I know I'm getting off topic here, guys. Round number 6 just started, by the way. But I love boxing, and I'm sure if you're a parent or even a boxer yourself out there, you'll agree. Especially for kids, it makes them walk just a little bit taller. And I'm not saying about puffing the chest out and going to pick fights, all that sort of stuff. It's confidence. It's walking tall, having confidence in yourself, and it can lead to just that positivity that is in your mind all the time, translates into school, into work, into your general way of life. So that's why boxing is great. All right. Oh, thanks, Luke. Love the show. Really appreciate it there, mate. Have a couple of beers there, I see. All right, Colin Spring. How are you, Colin? Welcome to the show, mate. Maybe the provider main event / KO could give a $20 credit or points credit towards a future larger pay-per-view event that one might be interesting in viewing if you purchase this caliber of card. Mate, that is a fantastic idea. Really, really good idea. Okay, we're going to take your because they need obviously income all the time. They need regular pay-per-view buyers. So that is a great idea. Maybe have a tiered system. And just as we go to halfway through the last round, and this is up for grabs. I think Zeke Campbell doing enough. He's on the move. He's popping the jab. Stringer looks tired, but he's still coming forward. It looks a little bit in slow motion now, does Stringer. But no, I like it, mate, to say, all right, we're going to charge you $50 this time. But for the next pay-per-view, we're going to give you $10 or maybe even $20 off your next pay-per-view. I love it. That's a really goodwill gesture because I think everyone knows that, and here comes Stringer back as well. Geez, what a fight. I think everyone knows, well, we know, but I even think No Limit and Main Event, they would know they're taking the piss. They would have to know. So you would think maybe they might do it after they see the numbers in this fight, by the way, Colin. Geez, this is a great ending to the fight. We've got 50 seconds to go. Zeke, get off the ropes, mate. I'm not going to say it again. You've got Stringer who's absolutely spent. Absolutely spent. So if Zeke Campbell gives him a little bit of movement, he's not going to probably throw a punch, let alone land one. And Zeke Campbell can finish strong with his combination. He's lying on the ropes, allowing Stringer just to wail away. So anyway, but I love that idea, Colin. What do you guys think? Yes, a loyalty program. I love it. Larry says, try buying this fight, but since I'm in Europe, it wouldn't let me. Yeah, the VPN probably wouldn't let you, Larry. You've got to get onto something like Surfshark. If you buy that, I think it's pretty cheap. I think it's only, is it $25 a year or something? I can't remember what it is. That if you're overseas and you put it to an Aussie VPN in your, and I'm not savvy at this in any way, I will say, but I've got a VPN that when I go to America, I'm going to be able to watch the boxing, hopefully the footy or whatever it might be. But if you're overseas or whatever and you're being blocked, just get something like Surfshark. It's cheap to have, and you just click whatever country you want to be in. So the network, you'll be able to, or they'll be thinking you're in Australia, so you'll be able to get it. So just a bit of a tip there. All right, is Zeke fighting now? Yeah, Roy, yes, he is, mate. So we've just got to the end of the 6th round. I gave him the 3rd round. I have it a draw. I have it 3 rounds apiece. However, that is from a neutral point of view. Now, if you've put a little bit of the hometown cooking tax on it, I've got a feeling Zeke Campbell might pull this out 4 rounds to 2, I think. But I had it 3 rounds apiece. Granted, I'm sort of going back and forth a little bit, but I thought that Stringer really game. I thought he won the first 3, and Zeke Campbell probably won the last 3. So, yeah, good fight though, Roy, I will say. All right, what do we got there from... Oh, yep, so Tommy, he is, yep. Stringer smothering Campbell. Well, yeah. We just made it easy, Nath. Look, Stringer's a really tough, hard guy. Make no bones about it. But when you lay on the ropes and just make it easy on them, I just don't see the sense. I just don't see it. It's okay, maybe find yourself on the ropes, hold, clinch, move away, do something. But laying on the ropes and not just fighting back, allowing Stringer to lean on you and really have his way, I don't see the sense in that. All right, guys, so the announcement is about to come through. Great fight, boys. Really good fight. Here we go. $58, $56, $59, $55, $59, $55. Zeke Campbell. 5 rounds to 1. Are you kidding me? As I said, the hometown cooking tax had to go on there, but 5 rounds to 1, guys. Come on. You can try and disguise it a little bit better than that. So 58-56, which is 4 rounds to 2, 59-55, so 5 rounds to 1 times 2. Good on Zeke Campbell. Looked okay, but yeah, and look, maybe he did get the win, but that's very one-sided, I think. Tommy, what was your comment there before the decision there, mate? Campbell lets his hands go from range. He looks very good. Favouring Campbell the longer it goes, but Stringer making it very difficult. Yeah, well, that's the way the judges saw it too. What's that, Luke? I'm Luke's stepdaughter. I'm an amateur boxer and I've had 11 fights. Wow. How old are you there, Luke's stepdaughter? I'm assuming you got to be, 14 these days? That's awesome. 11 fights. It's crazy how many fights the young kids have these days. When I started boxing, I was 10, and I was lucky to get a couple of fights a year for the first 3 or 4 years. And then once, obviously got to sort of 15 and 16, the fights come pretty steady after that, but very tough back then to get fights. And I was a boy, so I don't know what it's like with girls, but yeah, to have 11 fights, that's great. Tommy likes the idea from Colin, I should say. Yep. Brilliant fight, these two. Yeah, really good fight it was. Very enjoyable. So my name is Ella, and 11 fights. Good stuff, Ella. Well, all the very best in your career. I'm assuming you're probably from New South Wales or Queensland, I'm thinking. They have a lot of fighters up there, young fighters, so I'm assuming you're getting all you need up there. Not so, I'm in Victoria, and yes, I don't think there's that many down here, but I might be wrong. But all right, Zigmont, great war to begin the pay-per-view. I agree, mate. The link, sorry. Where is it? Let me see the link. No, that's not it. Let me see. What do I do there? All right. Hang on, I've got to be... Sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening there. Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. Copied. There it is. No good with this sort of stuff. All right, let's have a look. Paste. There it goes. I think that's come up. All right, I'll get back to some comments there. Yep, good for you, young lady. Go hard, give him hell, says Mark. Good stuff. Big J says bullshit decision. So you are watching, Big J. Put up the kink, Lyndon. What's that there, Big J? Ordinary judging. All right, so we'll go down to Tommy. So I think I've put the link in there, guys. Come on if you want. Phil for Stringer probably didn't have a chance given a couple of those cars, but well done to both lads. Yeah, good fight. Certainly was there, mate. Keep going through. All right, so the link is in there, guys. As I said, I thought it probably should have been a draw, but with the hometown factor, it's probably not surprising that Zeke Campbell got the win. Good fight by him, I will say, but yeah, Big J. You're a bad man, Big J. So Isaac Harbour being interviewed at the moment, which is a little bit unusual, I would think, because I think there's only... what do we got? I think that, I've lost my way there with the fight card. All right, so... Sorry, guys. I'm on the no limit side here. All right, so next up is Kiki Lutelli and Arsena Fosso. That'll be a good fight. That'll be a really entertaining fight, I think. She's from Queensland, 12 years old, Brightfish. Well, geez, I think you got to be 14 down here. That's awesome. Now, where are you? What do we got? I'm going to bring Kyle in, if I can find... Hang on, we'll make him number 1. There we go. No? Oh, hang on, that's just me. Sorry, guys. Hang on, let me see if I can get him on here. I don't know what's happened there because I'm on there twice. Let me have a look. This is really professional, isn't it? Let's have a look. I'll get him on eventually. Is that him there? Where are we? Have I got him there? No. Are you there, Kyle? I don't know what I've done there, by the way. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to go out of that. Don't know what I've done there. Stuffed it up. You are in there somewhere, Kyle. Let me go back. So my camera is there. All right, let's see. Yep, just call me Mr. Professional. All right. I don't know what's happening there, guys, but you're not coming up. That's you there, I reckon. Custom. Sorry, Kyle, I can't see you, buddy. It's just me. I'll see what I can do. I'll go to a break in a minute and see what we can do. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. So, Kiki Lutelli, Arsena Fosso next. Then we've got Cole Mzudia, Travis Drusi, Curtis Scott, Joey Lalua. You wouldn't have thought that would go too long. Now, where are we? I don't know, by the way. Yeah, sorry there. All right. We'll try again, eh? I reckon we might have you this time. There he is.
Lyndon.
G'day, mate. How are you?
There we go.
I don't know. Let me just
It took
get
us a
rid of one of
while.
you. There you go. You're on. I don't know what happened. Don't know what was going on there, but
No,
what's happened? What do you think?
like I said, you're my eyes, Lyndon.
You're not watching.
So, yeah, you tell me.
I thought Zeke Campbell boxed. Oh, there's Big J. Hang on, Big J. I'm
Oh,
going to
there we
come
go. We got
back to
another
you,
one.
mate. Just I'll have a quick chat with Kyle, and then I'll come back to you. I've only got room for one guest at a time, so just give me a sec, Big J. Come back on. So yeah, no, I thought Zeke
That's
Campbell
me.
boxed really well, but the just being on the ropes was just silly, if you ask me. Big J again, Big J. I'll come back to you, mate.
Yeah, well,
Hang on, we'll get a couple of comments there. Evening all, pumped for this great first fight to get things going. What do you think about Rocky Ogden being overlooked for this fight? I don't know what Rocky Ogden's done, Luke. I've got a feeling he might end up
oh,
on
that's
the
interesting.
Ace Boxing series, I would think.
Rocky Ogden's already signed Lyndon.
Is he? Who's he
He's going to be
fighting with?
fighting in April
Is
17th
that with?
for the next, yeah, the
Yep.
next 7+ card.
Yep. Thought so. Yeah. I think he's
Yeah, I'm
always
not too
been
sure who the opponent is.
An
Yeah,
Angelo DiCarlo fighter, hasn't he? So, what do we got there? George definitely called on all his NRL mates to try and promote the fight. Yeah, he always has them at ringside, doesn't he?
yep. Oh, and Lyndon, in case you're wondering,
Yep.
Chloe Gretsch and Brown, they were fighting at flyweight, and
Flyweight.
Amber Amelia has, yeah, which is good because we don't have too many flyweights. We have
Mm.
Viviana Ruiz Corridor and Jasmine Parr, and Jasmine
Yep.
might go up. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, so we don't know about that. In Yeah, so really interesting to get some more depth in the flyweight.
Yeah.
And one thing that caught my eye was Matchroom have signed Mio Yoshida, or so it appears, because the profile isn't there, but
Yep.
her link is there. So I'm
Mm.
thinking Ebony Bridges, get a rematch. I know Big J won't be too happy about that one.
Well, Big J will get on in a second. What we might do after this fight, Big J will get you on, mate, because it's about to start in
Yeah,
a sec. So we might alternate. If Kyle, you come on every second fight, and Big J,
yeah, sure, sure.
we might have time to actually have both of you on. But if I can get my shit together with my phone, Tara's probably out there having a heart attack, thinking, "Oh my god, look at this guy, will you?" But but yeah, no, look at Zeke Campbell looked all right then, Kyle. I just think. Yeah, I think I'm not sure what plans they've got for him, but I would have thought he would have made a better job of that one. I would have thought.
I'll just finish on one final note, Lyndon.
Yep.
The reason why we're not fighting, like I was looking at BoxRec,
Mm-hmm.
and the number ranking in what we're looking at is monstrous.
Is
Like
it?
BoxRec don't normally have the. I'll just bring it up quickly if I can. Damn it, where is it? Shit, I can't find it. All right, but either way, like BoxRec don't normally have it 100% in the rankings.
Yep.
Like in terms of getting it accurate because they go underneath an algorithm.
Okay.
But when you see third versus 516th or 30th versus 280th, you can tell these are one-sided matches
Yeah.
just by looking at the
Well,
rankings.
save
And I
you
expect all the
money, I
numbers
suppose.
to walk away. And Isaac Hardman, 30th versus 780th, apparently.
Is that what he is? Holy shit!
Apparently.
Oh, yeah,
So I
well,
expect a knockout. I
yeah, well, we'll
expect a
see.
knockout.
Yeah, well, I would hope for no limit's sake that these fights are competitive. Anyway, all right, Kyle,
They're
I'm gonna
going
have
to
to let you
be.
go, mate. I'll get you on a little bit later, but the fight started. We'll talk a bit later on.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, Kyle. So we're into round one. So Latelli, black with the red stripe. Fozzo, black with the yellow stripe. Or piping, whatever you want to call it. All right. Tommy, Kiki always comes to fight, and Peach with his trademark thongs on the corner. Here we go. I was just going to say that. This guy I know I'm always picking at people, but come on, mate. You can do better than wearing thongs, can't you? It's not that warm in Wollongong. I think he'd wear shorts and thongs if it was bloody 2 degrees. But so the fight started off probably a little bit slower than I thought it might. but we've got 6 rounds, so plenty of time, or plenty of time to go for the big boys. Now, in my opinion, I would have thought that Latalia will win a decision in this fight. Both of these guys have fought Justice Honey, by the way. Both have been beaten on points. Fozzo was actually stopped, but I thought he actually did really well. Jules, good point you make to Kyle. Not sure how the algorithm works, but they said a Hardman win will get him a top 5 ranking with the WBO. And that's what's wrong with boxing these days, Jules. The fact it's relied on upon algorithms. I mean, look at even, I know I sort of heap on him a little bit, but Michael Zarafa. Now, I don't think he's done anywhere near enough to warrant a number 1 ranking with the WBA, and it was with the IBF, but with the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. I think the way it sort of works is, I've seen some fighters benefit, is that, especially like here in Australia as an example, if you win a regional belt, so one of those, I won't even try and rattle them off, there's about 50. If you win one of those belts, you get an automatic top 15 ranking in the world. That's what we're up against. So if you get a world champion that says, well, I'm going to have a voluntary defence, and you're ranked number 14 or 15, you might be in a position to get a shot. We saw it actually, I remember Luke Jackson fought Carl Frampton. He had the WBO regional belt at featherweight and just kept fighting, kept winning. He had a top 15 ranking, and then Carl Frampton had a voluntary defence and picked Luke, and there he fights in front of 30, 40,000 people, wherever it was it Ireland or wherever it was. But yeah, and that's what can happen. And this is the instance here. I'm interested to see how you can get a top 5 ranking with the WBO by beating the number 700 and something fighter. But again, who knows what goes through these sanctioning bodies' heads, I tell you. Peach's song's got to be your boxing nemesis. They are. I mean, it's just probably my OCD playing with me or something, but geez. And I don't like people, like I said, I don't like the way they swear. Was it really warranted yesterday? I know Mark Schliebs was built up a bit or worked up and he dropped the C-bomb on stage, but they interviewed Sam Goodman, Isaac Hardman and Mark Schliebs just with the commentary team, and all 3 of them dropped the F-bomb. Do we really need it? And better yet, do the management or the promoters say, or the broadcasters say, hey, let's keep it clean out there. If you want to be up here on stage getting interviewed, keep it clean. I don't know. Mate, again, as I said on my Instagram yesterday, I'm just getting old, I think, but I'm from a bygone era. And now I will say too, in the amateurs on that thong situation, Jules, that in the amateurs you can't wear thongs into the ring, and you can't, I don't think you can even wear a hat. That's how strict they are. Now, sorry guys, we're a minute into the second round. Fozzo on the ropes, Latelli pushing the pace, starting to warm up a little bit are the boys. And both fighters landing some bombs. Ooh, big shot by Latelli there, just missed. Luke said, not allowed, oh, there you go. Not allowed open shoes as a coach trainer when cornering, so why can you do it in the pros? I agree. I think it's ridiculous. I think we've got to have some sort of professional standards. And, yeah, I would have thought the combat boards at least would say you got to have closed shoes. I think the hat thing is a bit ridiculous. If you want to wear a hat, wear a hat. But to have closed shoes makes sense. It's not very professional, is it, for a professional sport? Kyle says that fighter's not even ranked anyway. That's which one is that? Savadera? Jackie Dilks, speaking of number 1 rankings, Andy's fight should be announced by the end of the week. Excited for it. Well, I did see it leaked today, so I'm allowed to probably mention it. I can't remember what site it was, but looks like it's Carlos Quadros, the former WBC 118 or 115 world champion or pound champion. So he's lost to Estrada, lost to Chocolatito Gonzalez. I remember I saw him fight Gonzalez in LA about 8 years ago. One of the best fight nights I've ever been to. It was at the Inglewood Forum in LA. These two just went to war, like a Mexican crowd, 15,000 people. It was just nuts. And Gonzalez won a decision over Quadros. So that's who Andrew Maloney looks like he's going to be fighting. And I'm not sort of spreading or breaking news. It was on a boxing site I saw today, so no doubt it'll be everywhere soon. So, Andy, if you're watching, it wasn't me. It's on social media. Jules says, so on that, what does Saavedra hold that would warrant a top 5 spot? He's only fought in Mexico. Absolutely nothing, Jules. Comes down to relationships. Oh, some big bombs being thrown here, by the way. Fozzo landed a big right hand, and Latelli landed a big left hook. Good fight so far. I think I'd give them both to Latelli so far, but good action. Some big bombs being thrown. Look, sometimes, Jules, it comes down to, might be like No Limits, the promoter. You have relationships. You might know the WBO rep really, really well. Look, there's lots of things that factor into how people get ranked. Sometimes it's just they ask nicely. Strange enough. Why do you think they all go to the conventions? They go there to lobby for fights and rankings. That's what they go there for. Do you really think the fighters and even the managers really want to? I know the managers probably do because they like to shake hands and take photos and be seen. But do you really think the fighters want to go along to those conventions? They do it because the management go, come on, let's go. We're going to lobby for a ranking or a fight. That's just the way it goes. But on that there, mate, it absolutely warrants nothing. Well, a top 5 ranking is not warranted by beating Saavedra, put it that way. Or Saavedra, however you pronounce it. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the commissions aren't even aware of it until he gets in the ring, and by then it's too late. Well, wouldn't you think even the promoters might say, hey, Peachy boy, mate, come on, we're trying to run a professional outfit here. Just put some shoes on. I know it's probably his thing, but, mate, put some shoes on. We've got a rep to protect. Nothing, Jules, nothing at all shows you the shit you can get away with at middleweight. It shows you the shit you can get away with sanctioning bodies, Kyle. It's ridiculous. Penny, are you showing the fight on this live? No, I can't show it, Penny. I'm sort of going through the commentary here, blow by blow, as I say that. We're 30 seconds into the third round, and Latelli, I think, has won the first 2 rounds. Really starting to throw some bombs now. Fozzo's going with him, but looking just to be slowing down just a little bit so far. But if we show or any sound or vision of it, Penny will no doubt have our stream cut, I would say. I'm sure you could probably get away with it to some extent, but they'll probably copyright it and be taken down. So a good fight so far. Actually, I will say we've had a really good start to the show tonight, I think. Last fight was good. The girls were good before that. And as I said, I didn't see the ones before that, but by all accounts, they were good. But, yeah, as typical heavyweights do, they've both slowed down a bit now and a little bit of leaning and holding going on. But Latelli on the inside. Fozzo just looks like he's struggling with the pace just a little bit as Latelli starts to work the body. Clinching now. As a main event fight, how does this fight progress Sam's career? Doesn't progress it at all, Luke. All it's doing is keeping him busy and giving him a payday. That's it. And No Limit fulfill their obligations for X amount of pay-per-views. That's all it is. Mark Schliebs, you've got to remember, was it a year ago, whatever it was, got absolutely starched in 1 round by Rocky Ogden. Hasn't been mentioned a lot in the lead-up, has it? You reckon Sam Goodman's been told, hey, Sam, for Christ's sake, don't bring up the fact he got iced in 1 round? It's hard enough to sell this fight as it is, let alone if you keep bringing that up. Because I'm sure Sam Goodman would have loved to have said, well, mate, what the hell are you doing here? You didn't even last a round with Rocky Ogden. Now you're in here with me. I'm sure he would love to have said that. And I've got a feeling that George, is it Gorgeous George or Georgie Boy, whatever it is, has said, hey, mate, just keep it on the down low. Good third round here too, guys. We've got 40 seconds to go in the round. And things have heated up. Latelli's getting the better of the combinations here. But Fozzo's fighting back. He's a game guy. Remember when he fought Justice Honey? Even though he got stopped, he was stopped on his feet and did not stop throwing punches. A really, really game, tough guy. All right, Tommy B. I was listening to Sean Porter talk about the conventions and fighters going there and leaving with rankings. Yes, big purses wouldn't hurt either with the commission taking a percentage. For all the fight fans out there that think it's just a matter of fighting and earning your spot and getting well paid and nothing goes under the table or whatever, you're kidding yourself. You probably don't want to know. Because I must admit, I didn't know any of this. I was blissfully unaware of all this sort of stuff, being a boxing fan since I've been 10 years old. Blissfully unaware what goes on in the world of boxing. I thought it was all above board and everything else. And, yeah, once I got into the business side of it, I looked at it through different eyes, I can tell you. But I won't spoil it for all you fans out there. Mark. What about there, mate? I read today that Matthias and Paro is going to happen. You heard anything? Yeah, I heard it's looking like it's going to happen, Mark. I think they're talking about doing it in Puerto Rico. I would love for that fight to happen. I think it does get made, but as far as being made, I don't think we're there yet. I think they're just purely starting the ball rolling, a bit of momentum. I know Eddie Hearn wants that fight. Liam obviously wants that fight. I think it just depends on if there's any bigger fights out there for Matias, whether Teofimo Lopez comes around or maybe the winner of Haney and Garcia or maybe Javante Davis. Who knows? But I think that's what they're looking out for. I know Emmanuel, who was it? Who was I can't. I was thinking of Emmanuel Rodriguez, but that's Jason Maloney's division. Anyway, but yeah, I think it will happen. But is it locked in? No, it's not at the moment. As we start the fourth round, guys, 20 seconds in, pretty much the same. Both boys now starting to lean a little bit. Oh, some big bombs being thrown. Big bombs. And Latelli looks like he's landing the better punches. Although, great right uppercut from Fozzo as both now clinch. I was just going to say, I think Latelli's going to land the better punches, but Fozzo, he just keeps coming back, and he's a big, big guy. I'm not quite sure what the weights were for this one. But yeah, some big shots being thrown. I think it's just a stay busy fight for Sam, and no limit being Schliebs purely try to sell it with his mouth, which is a shame because he actually has a good story. Yeah, he does. I just think he's probably gone a little bit far, Tommy. I really understand and get why he's been promoting the fight. He's done a great job, I will say. And there's a point being taken away from Fozzo now. Not following instructions. So in a 6-round fight, I think that's going to be very, very bad for Fozzo. So he probably needs a knockout to win now. As he comes out and Latelli throws a big bomb and Fozzo throws a big bomb as well. Yeah, I think you're right there, Tommy. He has got a good story, but we just haven't seen it. I just think he's just gone way too far. Look, has it sold any more pay-per-views? Who knows? Or maybe it's turned people off, or maybe it hasn't made any difference. I don't know. But I think Mark, he's a good little fighter. Don't get me wrong. And I know I've said all along it's not pay-per-view worthy, and I stand by it. But he actually has some real talent. He really does. And obviously he's got some power as well. A little bit of lull in proceedings here. Both guys clinching. A minute to go in round number 4. But it's just a shame that it's got to the point now where it's just become a bit of a circus, I think. What have we got there, Jules? They zoomed in on Peach's thongs. I didn't see that, mate. I'm glad I was probably talking to you guys. Another big uppercut from Fozzo. Not a bad fight, this one. One thing I'm glad of, I'll just take that comment off the page there. One thing I'm actually glad of on this card, they've actually got, is it 5 fights, whatever it might be, but they're not long fights. They're not all 10-round fights. It's bad enough when, like, especially being a Wednesday night. They're good 50-50 matchups so far, and they're not long fights, which is really, really good. Because we're all, I know, well, most of us are looking forward to the main event, but I really like the fact that we've got, 6? I think the Mazudia fight. I'll have to take a picture of that, I think, because it keeps vanishing. All right, so the last one was 6. This one is 6. Well, it does say 8, but on the screen it says 6. So I'm hoping that's right. Mazudia Druce is 8 rounds. The Curtis Scott Joey Lalua, is it? That fight's only 4, but that should be explosive, and then we're into the 2 main fights. So I'm going to have to get a pair of those thongs, I think, Jules. Some deep dive thongs, I think. Oh, hang on. Bring on Big J. Well, I can bring him on as we're talking. Come on, Big J, if you're watching, mate. Come on. We can watch the fights and talk at the same time if you want to come on. All right, yeah. So after this one, Carl Mazudia, then the Rugby Boys, and then we've got the 2 main events, or the co-main. So 2 10-round fights. So the Hardman Savadera fight is for the WBO Intercontinental Middleweight title. So that's 72 kilos odd. And another point comes off for Fozzo. 10 seconds or 7 seconds into the 5th round, and he's had another point taken off for holding. All right, so I'm going to put... Where are we? Is he in there? Big J, how you going, mate?
How you going, mate? How are you? Good to
Good,
see
mate.
you again.
What are you watching? Are you at the pub? Are you?
Yeah, mate. I'm at the pub. I wouldn't pay for this. You'd have to pay me to watch it.
Well,
So,
I was just going to say you've probably done the right thing. You refuse to pay for it, but you're watching it, so that's the main thing.
well, that's the thing, mate. There's plenty of establishments around. Like, I'm in Melbourne at the moment.
Oh yeah,
There's plenty
yep.
yeah, I live in Melbourne, mate. You think I live in Queensland? I
I
don't.
thought
I
you were
live
a
in Queensland.
Queenslander.
Yeah, but I live in Melbourne. I told you,
Oh.
don't ever marry a Victorian. Just drains the energy right out of you. So,
So you're a Victorian now.
no, don't ever call me that. I'm a Queenslander. I just happen to
You're a
live in
Mexican
Victoria.
like the rest of us.
Yeah. Mexicans, yeah, the bloody miserable-looking bastards that you are, I can tell you. Tell that punk McAllister he needs to grow a set and get in the ring.
Is he? I wonder.
He's
No,
there
he's
right
probably
now.
at the fights tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, he's at the fights right now. I talked to him earlier today. He still hasn't grown a set. And tell that simp to stop bloody sucking up Ebony's bloody...
That's Kyle,
is
is it?
a simp. Good Lord, I mean, great. I'm actually glad that the Japanese girls picked up, hopefully, a deal with Matchroom because she deserves it. And hopefully Eddie steps away from all these girls and this OnlyFans garbage because it's just ruining boxing.
Yeah.
So I hope Hughes kicks the living daylights out of Shanika. She goes away. But
Is the girl that beat Shanika? Is she a matchroom fighter as well?
Nina Hughes is not Matchroom. No, Ellie Scottney is, and Nina
Ellie
Hughes
Scottney.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ellie Scottney's a Matchroom fighter. She's got a defence coming up, I think, soon.
Yep.
And Nina is another Matchroom fighter fighting. Actually, no, tell a lie. They're both Ludabella fighters, Shanika and Nina Hughes. Are both Ludabella fighters. That's why they're on this card.
Yeah.
So
you're watching this fight at the moment. So I've got a minute to go in round number 5. I don't think Fozzo's got any hope at all because he's a 6-round fight. He's lost 2 points for.
too quick. He's a big guy, but he's got no end. He gasses just far too quick.
Yeah. And what do you think? I know all things aside, what happens in the main event? Goodman and SCHLIEBS.
I hope for Goodman's sake that he knocks him out inside of 3. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very bad look for Goodman because Mark SCHLIEBS is a blown-up bantamweight and a domestic blown-up bantamweight at that. Everyone says Rocky Onion sparked him, but that was at 126. I mean, to be fair to SCHLIEBS, he never fought that heavy before.
No. The same thing with
Rocky
Brock Jarvis.
cuts a lot of weight to make 126. So
and the Brock Jarvis fight, God knows what Brock Jarvis come into the ring at that night. It probably would have been, what was the fight at 122, I think.
Yeah. So, and then Brock Jarvis, he's gone completely quiet talking about him. So, I mean, I heard reports he wanted to fight at middleweight. He'll get murdered at middleweight.
Yeah, I think 154 is what they're talking about at the moment. It has even been talked that maybe him and Harbour might fight, but that's at 160. What's that, Mark? Wow, picture Big J with a big wild man beard and bald. I'm shocked.
Yeah, big wild man beard, this full head of hair, and you know, I know bloody. Has anyone ever told you look like that dad bod vet? You're a dead ringer for him. Look at
me.
Yeah, you look like the dad bod vet.
No, is he a good looking bloke or?
Oh yeah, he's not as good looking as me, but you know,
is he cut?
Nah, mate, it's dad bod.
Okay. Oh, dad bod. Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah. But it's just the facial features. You got the beard and just put a hat on, you look exactly like him. Good bloke, though.
I'll have to look him up.
A question: how come you haven't seen my show yet? I've been watching you for like a year. You haven't watched one episode.
I know I haven't. So you're on YouTube, are you?
Yeah, T Street Controversy, mate.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, I've watched that.
Well, there you go.
I thought it was.
Recognize the voice?
I just thought it was old mate Big J's YouTube channel, not the other one.
No, it's Terrell's, but I'm the Australian rep.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, I'll have to get on there at the and give it a watch again. I did watch it, but it's not all boxing, though, is it?
No, it's 90% boxing, but we do go into other areas.
Yeah.
So we talked about how the political stuff, like all sorts of things, but 90% boxing. UFC, we do venture into other things.
Well, give it a shout out, as I think Fozzo might have had another point taken off there. Give it a shout out. So for everyone watching.
So it's T Street Controversy.
Yep.
Right. All you have to do is type in YouTube T Street Controversy if you want to see just go Aussie Boxing Podcast. We do one at least once a month. We'll
Okay.
probably be doing one in another 48 hours after
All
I
right.
give T3 a kick in the ass because he's been lazy. So,
All right, we'll check it out. All right, mate. Well, we might touch base a little bit later on, closer to the main event.
yeah, no worries, mate.
Thanks, mate. That is old mate Big J, guys. If you haven't seen him before, I'm going to have to check out the dad bod guy. Thanks, Big J, for saying I've got a dad bod. Liam Paro, most overlooked fighter at present. I think he'll get his chance, Luke. I think he'll get his chance. And when he does, it'll be worth it. A bit like Michael Zarafa with Lara. I think when it comes around, it'll be well and truly worth it. So, Mark, there you go. I watch T Street all the time. I've watched it a couple of times, but I don't reckon it must have been the times where they weren't really talking boxing. So, there's Batman Boxing. Big J's always great on the show. Always love to hear his insight. Well, he knows what he's talking about. That's the main thing, Batman. And I don't care what opinion you have, or it's the same as mine or different, whatever it might be. It's at least sort of have some sort of idea what you're talking about, and Big J does. And Big J, I forgot to say, mate, welcome to Victoria, mate. Great to have you on the team. An honorary Victorian. All right, guys, so we've got a minute to go in round number 6. And Latelli's won this very, very convincingly. I think not only has he won probably 4, or if not all 5 rounds so far, Fozzo's had 2 points deducted. And, I think it's just a foregone conclusion. It is a 6-rounder, by the way, so the last round. On the social media side, it did say this was an 8-rounder. So, where are we? Have to get the card back up. All right. So, 10 seconds to go. Almost done for this one. And after that, 4 fights to go, although one of them is only a 4x2 minute round. So, what's that there, Mark? Was Big J on Johnny Combat on Australia Day? Don't know, mate. You might have to ask him when he comes back on. All right, so last few seconds of round number 6 and the fight. And I think it's going to be a very convincing win to Kiki Latelli. Although Fozzo has the arms up, he thinks he's won the fight. I think that's more of a gesture, I would probably think. But look, he's a brave guy. Big, tough guy. And he gave Justice Honey a good run for his money until he was stopped on his feet, by the way. But, Kiki Latelli, the Kiwi, looks like he's done more than enough to win. Although he has got a bit of claret on him. His nose is bleeding and his eye seems a bit banged up as well. So he's definitely had to earn it. Come on, Jules. Big J. I was a model in my younger years. True story. There you go. You learn something new every day. Unaware of Johnny Combat. Never heard of him. All right, guys. So just waiting for the decision now. I think it's pretty much a shutout for this fight. Kiki Latelli. So what's next for him? I think has he actually fought Dempsey McKean? I think he has. I was just going to say he would be a really good opponent for Dempsey McKean as a comeback fight. Sammy Goodman, they're showing him in the change room at the moment, looking nice and relaxed, nice and happy. Do you agree that he needs to get Mark Schliebs out of there early? I'm not quite sure. I just think he needs a really dominant performance. Got to remember, Goodman's not a big puncher at all. I think he's, I haven't got his record there, but he's only had a handful of knockouts in his fights. I think it's only about 30% knockout ratio, I think. So, but he needs to dominate Mark Schliebs. By rights, this should be a very, very one-sided fight and maybe stops him in 7 or 8 rounds, 6, 7, 8 rounds, whatever it might be, with an accumulation of punches. But maybe Big J's right. If it's just an ordinary 10-round decision, then maybe he's got to his performance has got to be questioned. So 60-52, 60-53, and I think it was 58-54 was the other one. So the one judge gave him a couple of rounds for Fozzo. But a very convincing win to Kiki Latelli, winner by unanimous decision. What next for him? Jules, what did you make of the story about Goodman requesting the horsehair gloves? I didn't see that actually, Jules. Made up story. I thought they were banned in some states. I thought they were too, Jules. I wouldn't be. I think they're legal. I just think it comes down to the teams. I remember we went through this years ago with Mayweather and Madonna. Do you remember that? Mayweather wasn't going to come out to the ring, even though they'd inspected it. No, sorry, it was the weigh-in day. And he wasn't going to fight, even though everyone knows that Madonna wore horsehair gloves. And I can't remember what happened, but as far as I know, they are legal, unless maybe the opposition doesn't want to. I'm not sure. Maybe it's state by state. You don't see them very often here in Australia at all, do you? So maybe they are banned here. Chad Durham. Anyone got a stream? I haven't, mate. No, I'm sorry. You better maybe go to one of those the boxing Facebook pages, I think, mate. There's normally I don't even know what they're talking about sometimes. They all put them up there. Actually, I was just going to say I'll jump on and have a look. But I don't want to get myself into trouble there. I'm sure someone's got one there, though, Chad. All right, so Kyle Mazudia, Travis Druce, is it Druce or Druce up next at 154. Then we've got the Rugby Boys, then Hardman, and then Goodman and Schliebs. I'm really interested to see with what Mark Schliebs brings to the table. I think we all know that Sam Goodman's going to come out smoking. What's Mark Schliebs going to do? Is he going to box smart? Or is he going to go with Sam Goodman? It'll be very interesting. Does he come out really hard and try and put it on Sam? Yeah, it's just showing the promo for Zoo and Thurman, Zarafa and Lara as well, guys. So what do we think of that car? Was it only 2.5 weeks away? I'm not quite sure what they're charging for it. I'm assuming $60. Let me have a look. You know, they could probably charge more and we'd probably pay it. I think with Tim, they could pretty much charge what they want, to be honest. Who we got there? DJJ1551. Sorry for being late. It's all good, mate. We're going to be here for a while, so just settle in. All right. I'll see. Where are we? $70, guys. $69.95 for Zoo versus Thurman. So it's gone up $10 to what they normally charge here in Australia. $70. And you know what? Everyone will pay it. Is it worth $70? I think it is. On another note, are you actually going to Zoo and Thurman? Anyone out there watching, going to see the fight? I'm actually heading off on March 26th. So what's that? A week and 6 days. Really looking forward to it. We're going to try and actually get Glenn Jennings and I'm going to try and even get Benny Harrington, who's Liam Wilson's trainer. I'd love them to come on and have a chat, whether it's live or recorded or whatever. So, we'll see if I can line up with that. I know they're flat out at the moment, so we'll see what we can do. Jules, I thought Schliebs had handled himself well in the build-up, but thought both fighters were a bit emotional at the weigh-in. Well, the fact you've got... it's that mad bunch. The fact you've got Mark Schliebs dropping the C-bomb up there. Ben Damon, mate, you've got to be a little bit quicker with the mic. If you're going to be entrusted with the mic, you've got to be ready to go. But you would have thought that even with that, I know the occasional F-bomb might slip out or whatever, but a C-bomb... Don't see that very often. What do you reckon, guys? Is a half-naked adult running up and down, half-pissed, a good look at a fight night? Is something to be proud of, is it? It's not something I do. Hang on, he's showing us his butt. Okay, that's all good. All right. DJ, I haven't seen much promotion for the undercard fights. Well, it's been probably a little bit with Isaac, but that's literally about it, I think, mate. DJ. For fuck's sake, I'm a tight ass, but yeah, I'll pay it. Yeah. Look, I don't think it's been a tight ass there, mate. I think $69.95 is not bad for a fight from Las Vegas. And look, even the thing to consider here, this fight aside, or this card aside, I will say, excuse me, You got to remember these guys to put on the big fights. I'm probably looking at last year backwards more than anything. The no limit fight cards are putting on, you could see where the money was being spent, and everyone or no one had a problem paying the money because the fight cards were stacked. You know, the undercard was stacked, and to get those undercard fights together, you have to pay for them. And I think me, like all you out there, had just no hesitation handing over the money because the money was being put into the shows. But for these ones, if they did make $1 million off this gate, then some serious questions have got to be asked. Have I got that right? So an average, if the cheapest seats are $100, you would think that the most expensive tickets are probably, oh, look out. Look out. We've got a brown eye on live television. I hope his family is proud of him. Anyway, yeah, as I said, I don't mind it if I can see where the money's being spent. But if they've had a couple of $100, as I said, I think if the most expensive ticket was $500 or $600, so the average was a couple of hundred, and they had 5,000 people there, that's a lot of money, isn't it? So they're going to clean up. So maybe they'll have the last laugh. But that makes it worse because it means they've had a shitload of money they could have put into this card. I understand it's in Wollongong, but the fighters have shown they will travel. If the right matchup's there and the money's there, they'll travel. What's that, Jules? I was 50-50 before talking boxing, but now I'm 70-30 going up to convince me. Mate, I hope you got on there and got the airfares. You might have missed out. They were $1,270 return to LA. So you might have got to Vegas and back for $1,500. $1,500, which is just unheard of. It's ended now, but went for about 3 weeks, I think. So I think you'll probably still get a ticket for a couple of grand, Jules, but go. If you haven't been to Vegas before, I implore you, if you can afford it, go. All right. Sat right above the Mad Bunch at the Zoo Harrison, and there were quite a few being removed by the police. Yeah, look, I must admit again, showing my age, couldn't think of anything worse than being anywhere near him, to be honest, Jules. I know they pay the money and can have their fun, but, you know, I'll go to the football or something, expect that. I don't expect to go to the boxing, or maybe UFC, you could probably expect that, but not the boxing. But anyway, as I said, that's just me. I don't think anyone really has a problem with it. I haven't got a problem with it. I just wouldn't want to be anywhere near it. I was at when did Sam Goodman, he fought in Newcastle, I think it was, and a lot of them must have went there. And they were sort of in the bay just around from me, and it was pretty hectic in there. No, mate, no bones about that. When I went to the UFC, was it last year or the year before? Must have been the year before. It was when Nate Diaz was the main event in Vegas. And literally right beside me, there was a full-on punch-on between these two guys, and everyone was cheering, and of course everyone around, all his mates get the shirts off and they want to go. It's just, they're a different breed, the UFC guys. All right, back to business. What do we got? Oh, okay. I meant the Tim versus Keith undercard. Sorry, DJ. No, you're right. Been nothing. And I think Michael Zaraff has been in Vegas for a few days now. I haven't seen anything with him. Who's the other ones? Oh, Rowley and Cruz. Seen nothing on them. Literally nothing. You're right. There's been no promotion of the event really whatsoever apart from Tim and Keith. So, look, I must admit, too, I've got some doubts they'll get a big crowd. Hopefully the pay-per-views will measure up. It's just a hard sell. I was surprised they actually put it at the T-Mobile Arena. I thought it might have been at a smaller arena. It's 22,000, I think they get there. I know they've got the upper bowl already sectioned off, or maybe parts of it. But I would have thought 10 to 12,000 would have been all they'd get. So maybe do it at the MGM or somewhere else. I don't think it really would have mattered. Kyle, they're trying to compensate for the Tim Zoo fight for tonight. Yeah, maybe. Tommy says, what do you got there, mate? One day before Vegas, one day maybe Vegas, but for now, my big trip will be Perth versus for Kambosos Lama, mate. Look, to be honest with you, you couldn't spend your money any better than Kambosos Lomachenko in Perth, mate. It will be massive. It will be awesome over there, and you're getting to see one of the all-time great fighters up against an Aussie live in person, mate. So I think if you're saving your money for that instead of going to Vegas, no issue with that, Tommy. I think you've made a very wise choice, mate. And I think that You'll have Andrew Maloney on the undercard against Quadros for the WBC interim title. I think Shanika Johnson's on there against Nina Hughes. Plus, I've got no doubt maybe Alex Winwood. That'll be a great card. So money well spent there, mate. But having said that, make sure you save up and get to Vegas one day. The boxing deep dive tours. All right, so the first round with Mazudia, and I still didn't hear the way they pronounce his name. I'm going to say Druce. He's only had 5 fights, I think, Druce. So it's 1 of 8. You would think that Mazudia would get the chocolates in this one. Luke, does Schliebs got another shot if he loses this? No, he doesn't, Luke. I think he'll be all over. It's one thing I did agree with with Sam Goodman that if Mark Schliebs loses this, there's no one for him to fight. And you wouldn't think they would invest money into him if he can't get close to Sam Goodman. I think he's back to fighting on no limit undercards, but we'll see. Even Uncle Chopper said good manners are essential in life. Yes, Big J, they certainly are. Tommy Mazudia, another one who's never in a dull fight. Looking forward to seeing this Druce fella. As I said earlier, Tommy, I'm a big fan of Mazudia. Just with what he brings to the events. Always fights good fighters. Has no dramas, whoever they put him in with, whether it's Kamakayo or Benny Mahoney or this guy. Benjamin Hussein, I think he beat him, didn't he, Hussein? Gee, I'm thinking about that too, Tommy. It's a 5-hour drive that's annoying me. Mark, what was that for there? Tommy? I'm sure it'll come up there. I think a name like Loma in Australia is worth watching, yes. Who would have thought we'd have Pacquiao, Haney, and now Lomachenko? What's a little bit still like an amateur, I think, Druce, from what I can see, but looks like he's got some skills. Seems clear Tim and Nikita are NLB main focus, so no limit. Yeah, and look, probably as they should be, Luke. I mean, especially Tim, and by association Nikita. But at the end of the day, Nikita would be selling a lot of pay-per-views as well. Don't worry about that. So you got to look after your money makers and the big names, and that's what the zoos are. Is Alex Woodward on the Cambosis card? I did hear he was, Kyle, but I don't think it's been announced just yet. I did speak to Noonan Boy a couple of weeks ago. He's in with the Cambosis camp. I think he's sort of heading up a lot of the media stuff over there. And I think they're going to wait until after Tim and Keith, that fight's over, and then you'll see them really start to ramp it up. Probably no use trying to do promos and anything out of the ordinary at the moment. I mean, it's a May fight. So we've got, what is it, March, April. So it's still about 10 weeks. No, it's probably, 8 or 9 weeks away. So I would think after Tim and Thurman fight, you've got a good sort of 4 to 6 week lead in, so that's perfect. So I think that's where you'll really start to see the fights being announced, all the promos. And one thing we did see with the Haney Cambosis card was at the end of round 1 was just how well it was promoted. Everyone knew about it. 42,000 at Marvel Stadium in Melbourne. It was a big event. So look, even round that one. Sorry, I didn't sort of commentate a little bit more on it there, guys, but I think Mazudia might have just done enough to shade the round. Druce looked okay, though. Looked okay. So I think we're going to be in for a very competitive fight here. Oh, sorry, Mark. 5-hour drive from Perth. Okay, cool. Definitely worth it, Mark. If you're only a 5-hour drive, mate, jump in the car and go. Cost you a couple of $100 in fuel, probably. I don't know. Well, probably what it costs even that. I don't know. $150 in fuel. BJ, McAllister said there is a nice crowd there. Maybe someone can lead him a set of testicles so he can fight me. Well, that's the thing. I don't think we ever had any doubt that they'd pack the joint out, Big J. I mean, it is Wollongong, which is Sam Goodman's hometown. So no surprises why there's not probably 5,000 people there. What's the thoughts on Jai versus Anthony for catch weight fight? Is that Anthony Joshua? Whew, I think at some stage you might see that fight, Luke. Depends on how long Anthony Joshua hangs around, but I've got a feeling Jai Pataya in 12 to 18 months' time will make the move to heavyweight. There's not that many big fights for him at cruiserweight. Once he gets past Breeders, I know there's maybe Riapor and Bill and Smith. But I mean, unless it's in England, they're not massive fights. And the way I think from what I've seen, they're really the sheiks or His Excellency or Excellencies or whatever they call them over there are really high on Jai and want him to be part of their stable. So means some big paydays for him and big opponents. So maybe they might say, okay, well, look, maybe if Fury and Usyk have to fight a second time and maybe throw Joseph Parker in there, whatever it might be, maybe they might see that as an in-between fight or an onside fight in the lead up to maybe the winner fighting the winner of Fury and Usyk. So lots of things can happen to Jai, and I think it's great. I think it's great that he's hit the big time and getting paid for it. All right, so I think so we're about halfway through the second round. The mouthpieces come out of the mouth of Druce. So yeah, pretty evenly matched fight. I must admit I thought that Mazudia, well, can't turn your back there, Druce. But I would have thought that Mazudia, being a lot more experienced, might have the upper hand. But Druce has been okay. See how he goes over 8 rounds. I'm not sure he's fought 8 before. Oh, nice right hand from Mazudia. Very good right hand. What do you got there, DJ? What's that there, mate? Lyndon, give us a rare boxing rule many wouldn't know. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. Nice right hand from Mazudia again. Big J, Joshua would destroy him. Too big. I don't believe Jai's frame could carry that weight above 220. Yeah, it's probably not a bad point, Big J. Although Usyk did okay against Joshua, and I know maybe Opatai is not Usyk, but who knows? In another 5 or 6 fights, maybe he's at that caliber. All right, guys, so we've got 20 seconds to go in the second round of 8. Both boys in white. Used to be rules too. There's a rule maybe for you there, DJ. It used to be that you couldn't wear the same coloured trunks as your opponent. But obviously that hasn't come into effect here anymore because the first 2 fights are both in black. I think, was it the girls or one of them? The last fight they were both in black, and this fight they've both been in white. So you remember there was a big controversy when Trevor Berbick and Mike Tyson fought for the heavyweight title. Berbick, being the champion, should have had the right of way, and he wore black intentionally because he knew obviously Mike Tyson wore black in all his fights. So Trevor Berbick wore black, and Mike Tyson said, well, I'm Mike Tyson, so I'll do whatever I want. Probably paid a fine or whatever it might have been, but they were both in black, and that's apparently not the way it's supposed to be. Obviously, that rule's changed along the way. A bit like the gloves, DJ. It used to be you had to have exactly the same pair of gloves, and now it's wear whatever you want. One wears Everlast, the other one wears Rival, and someone else wears Winnings. And used to be both wore exactly the same glove. And most of the time in the big fights overseas, they'll red Everlast gloves or red Reyes gloves. And now it's pretty much do what you want. Tommy says, we're going to round 3. Mazudia looks like he's been working on his boxing and he's got the determined eye. Well, I think he would have been looking to, as they say, make a statement in this fight. I know that every fighter says it, but I would have thought that only having 5 fights, that Mazudia would really want to put it on him. And he sort of has so far, but Druce has been okay. I think Mazudia has won the first 2 rounds, but Druce has been okay. Is he? I'm pretty sure he's a Wollongong boy, isn't he? I'm not sure. Let us know. And there's Asbot. How you going there, Asbot? Welcome to the show, mate. Not sure whether you're watching the actual fights, but if you're not, then we're giving some live updates as we go. And while we're going there, guys, if you've got anything else that you want to talk about in the boxing world, let me know in the chat, and we can sort of talk about it in between. All right, so I think Druce is cut by his nose. Nice left hook landed by Mazudia. And Druce is looking a little bit tired at this stage, and that's not a good sign in the 3rd round against a very experienced And another right hand. A very experienced fighter in Mazudia. Looking very fatigued at this stage. BJ, the trunks rule went out the door when Ali fought Patterson too. Both wore white with black. Both threatened to leave, but in the end, the official said, bugger it. We can tell the difference. Yeah, okay. Well, it didn't really matter back. Well, you're probably right there, actually, Big J. It's come to think of it. You didn't really see. It used to be one wore white and one wore black, wasn't it? Those black Everlast trunks, and one would wear black with white, and the other one would wear white with black. But yeah, obviously it's gone out the window, at least here in Australia anyway. All right, DJ. I have a rule question. Is there any scenario that allows a boxer to leave the ring and return during a fight? What are you referring to there, mate? Is it to maybe go to the toilet or something like that? That's a very, very interesting question. I would think that if you leave the ring rope or get through the rope, so it's an immediate disqualification, I would think. You said the fight was at a couple of years ago in America, big heavyweight. And he's fighting a guy, and he gets in there, they go through the introductions, they go to the centre ring, they touch gloves, and they go back to the corner, and they ring the bell, and he hops out the ring. I'm not sure you've seen that. That is just bizarre. Now, that's making a statement. But it's a good question there, DJ. As I said, I would have thought that you would be disqualified as soon as you get out of the ring, no matter what the circumstances are. Because that's the only thing I can think about is if you needed to go to the bathroom. All right, Jules, I like Mazudia, but I can't help but think Nikita would have walked through him if that fight happens, and I think it will. Well, that's the end of the third round. A clear round to Mazudia. Drew's looking a little bit fatigued at the moment, and I've got no doubt that Mazudia will just get better as the fight goes on. He's looking very determined, and I think he's won every round so far. I don't think Nikita walks through him. Who was Jules, was it? I don't think he walks through Kyle Mazudia, Jules. I think he would win comprehensively. I think Nikita's just improved so much fight to fight. I think he wins the fight on points. I think Mazudia is tough enough and experienced enough to last with Nikita and make him think about things. But I think Nikita wins the fight very comfortably. Probably a shutout, 8-0, I would think. But I think Mazudia hangs in there and goes the distance and gives him an okay fight. Luke says, I refuse to pay for this, purely relying on your comments. Okay, well, I better make some comments here, though, mate. We're into round 4. As I said, Drew's looking fatigued. Mazudia just fighting a very, very good fight at this stage. Look, the thing is, too, Jules, while I think he gives Nikita an okay fight, he's tight. He's composed. He's good footwork, good skills. And I think he's a little bit better version of, say, Jack Brubaker. The only thing Jack obviously had is power. And Mazudia is not a big puncher. But he has beaten Kamikayo twice, I think it is. He's beaten Wade Ryan. So it's a couple of good wins there. He was obviously beaten by Ryan the first time and then lost to Hussein. But I think he's got enough durability to go the distance. No, Asbot disagrees. Nikita destroys Mazudia, or maybe you're right. It gives him a good fight, though, let's just say. Mark, when or will Jamal Charlo come out of hiding to face Tim? It ain't going to happen, I don't think, Mark. I think that fight is done. Asbot, where are we? I don't think Charlo really needs it anymore. I don't suppose you can blame his loaded and who needs a physical punishment. Yeah. He's also obviously got some issues outside the ring there, Asbot. I'd be surprised if we see him again in a big fight, to be honest, if at all. So we're about almost halfway through the fourth round. And Drew Say is doing more holding and wrestling than fighting at the moment. And Mazudia's being very composed. He has worn a couple of punches, I will say, which is probably not a good sign when you're going to fight Nikita Tszyu. But he's switching from orthodox to southpaw, which again I don't like. And I just think the fact he's only had 5 fights is really now starting to take its toll. I think Mazudia, having fought, I'm not sure he's fought 12, but he's fought 10 a few times. And I just think that experience over the journey will we'll just get him over the line, I would think, because Drusay is doing more holding, as I said, than fighting at this stage. James Brown, how are you, mate? If you're pushed out of the ring, you could keep going if the opponent wasn't disqualified. Yeah, that's a bit different, James. If you're actually pushed out of the ring, I'm talking about just deliberately getting out of the ring. I think that would be enough to disqualify. We have seen fighters fall out the ring or be knocked out the ring or thrown out the ring or whatever it might be. But, yeah, no, I think that's a lot different, as we've seen. Will Solis, always very clear instructions. Yeah, I don't mind him as a referee, Tommy. Doesn't take any crap either. Jules says, speaking of Hussein, that performance when he beat Mazzuti was one of the best last year, most improved boxer in Australia in that performance. Yeah, well, I didn't think he was going to beat Mazzuti, Jules. I thought that Mazzuti had him covered, but because I think he's coming off a fight or two before that, getting knocked out by Lockie Higgins, who's a really tough guy as we finish round 4, but not really known as being as one of the elite guys. We got the interviewing Joey Leilua. Apologies if I have no idea who he is, guys. I'm assuming he's an NRL guy, but I don't know who he is. Yeah, but you're right there, Jules. It was a very polished performance by Hussein, and yeah, we'll see what happens with him. Maybe he could step up and maybe fight Nikita as well. Now, he did fight Mahoney as well, didn't he? I'd like to know what's going on with Ben. I did hear some rumours with some legal problems with promoters and trainers, all this sort of stuff. But I hope he's back soon because we need him back. He's a good fighter. I'd like to see that rematch. Speaking of Mahoney, could Mahoney be the next big fight for Nikita? He needs to get a fight or two under his belt though, Kyle. Just been too inactive recently. What's that? Baller Tree. What are you watching this on? Main event Baller here in Australia. I'm not sure where you are, but it's in Australia. So the main event, Sam Goodman and Mark Schliebs. At the moment, Cole Mazzutia and Travis Druce are into the 5th round. I think it's been a clear-cut win so far for Mazzutia as he lands another good left hook. And Druce is really struggling to go with him at the moment, although he did punch Druce on the back of the head there. Didn't get a warning for it, though, surprisingly. Kyle, but Mahoney's the only other logical fighter undefeated, drew with Mazzutia. I think they'd probably want a couple of more fights for Mahoney before he fights Nikita. I would think, Kyle, because he can fight. I've got no doubt they've probably done rounds together as well. Are we any chance of a Ben Horn-Nikita rematch? Nikita obviously improved since then, but felt like unfinished business. I heard the rumour, Tommy, I think I might have said it on one of the shows. I heard that Ben Horn was going to be the April opponent for Nikita Tszyu, and obviously that's not going to happen because he's fighting on the 7+ show. Now, who is that against? Jeez, whatever. Oh, hang on. The towel has come in. That is bizarre. Drew, he landed a really good left hook, but they stopped the fight. That is bizarre. Well, good corner work. They probably know better than I do. They've been watching the fight, but I would have thought that was surprising. It wasn't like he'd been rocked or knocked down, or he was taking a couple of punches, but he looked more tired than hurt. So there it is. So Cole Mazzutia with a 5th round stoppage of Travis Druce. Good win for Cole Mazzutia, and looks like he will be the next opponent for Nikita Tszyu, who's in Vegas at the moment with Tim and Liam, training the house down. And I'm not quite sure when in April that it will be, but we're good to see him back in action. Tommy, what's that there? Are we in it? Oh, there's the rematch. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to answer that. Yeah. But obviously, yeah, he's on the 7+ card. So, yeah. I can't remember who he's fighting. I do know who he's fighting. I just can't remember who he's fighting. But so, will Ben Horn back up the following month? I suppose we'll see. I doubt it. Maybe later in the year. Maybe they're just going to put that fight behind him as just one of those ones where it was a learning curve. He got away with it and move on. All right, Nath Mays. Pure toughness, Drews has. Mazudia looking more skillful than a pure boxer. Yeah, well, he got the job done then, didn't he? Do you think Goodman fights in a way? I hope not, because it's his funeral. Yeah, that would end very badly for Goodman, I think, Big J. And look, I like Sam, but, geez, if you have no power at all, which unfortunately it looks like Sam hasn't, there's no way you're going to stay away from Inouye for 12 rounds when you've got no power. You need to get his respect, else he'll just hunt you down and just bomb you out of there. And, yeah, I don't think that ends well for Sam from what I've seen so far, Big J. Luke, I personally think Hardman wins tonight. However, where does he really go next? A Rafa rematch? I don't think there's a Rafa rematch happens, Luke. Call it a gut feel. I think, well, I won't say it won't happen ever. I think if Zarafa wins the bout, he's not gonna fight Hardman. He's been there and done that. Did it so comprehensively. Why go backwards? It doesn't make sense. And I don't think Isaac's really done anything yet to get anywhere near warranting a world title fight. If Zarafa loses, then you might see a different story. It might just be circumstances suit and comes back. Hardman might have a top 4 or 5 ranking and Zarafa might want that ranking. So we'll see. Okay, so Kyle is back. Have we got you there, Kyle? Where are we? Oh, no. Muted. No, you're not there, Kyle. I don't know where you've gone. You've muted yourself. You've taken yourself out. So you'll have to call back. Oh, no, hang on. You're back. There you are. How you going? You're on mute there, Kyle. I don't know what you've done there. You might have to go out and come back in, I'd say, but it says you've muted yourself. Come on back. All right. Is Goodman's funeral worth the money? Well, of course, you've got to take your shot. You don't get up at 5 or 6 o'clock every morning and go running and sacrifice for your life for this without having a shot at it. So I think good luck to him. All right, so it looks like Kyle is now in the chat. You back there, Kyle?
Good. Here we go. I literally disconnected when you connected.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, lost the Wi-Fi. My question to you, Lyndon, is what is next for Sam Goodman? Because he's sanctioned in 2 of sanctioning, but he's fighting a bloke like Mark Schliebs.
Mm. Yeah.
So do you go for the money, or do you try and fight an Akhmadaliev for another payday that Matchroom might make worth his while?
I think that Sam and No Limit want the big fights, but it all just comes down to timing. I think this fight is purely just like Sam's made no secret. He wants to fight in Wollongong. He obviously wants the payday. He wants to keep busy. As Inouye's tied up. Some of these other guys might be tied up. I think it's purely by saying, look, there's not really much happening. Let's just get this fight. We tick off the Wollongong thing. We tick off the pay-per-view thing. We tick off a payday for you, and we'll just keep this going until the bigger fights come up. So I just think it's purely just a fight of circumstance. I don't think if they had sat down and plotted 2024 for Sam Goodman, speak of the devil, there he is. He's all wrapped up. His hands are wrapped. He's getting interviewed on the panel. So, yeah, I don't think if they had sat down at the start of 2024 and said, what are we going to do for Sam that's going to get him where we want to get him, Mark Schliebs obviously wouldn't be on that list. So it's just them saying, look, nothing's happening for us at the moment, so let's just get him a fight and let's just get it done with. What do you think?
Yeah. In other news, I've been listening to a lot of, I think you might need to just have to jump on the payday when you can. So if Inouye calls, because he's not going up in weight, Inouye. He's not going to go up in weight. Yeah. So that's his kingdom. If you don't want to fight him, then there's no real point being the number 1 contender. You're going to have to fight him eventually. But if you want to build yourself up and risk that mandatory position against solid opponents like an Akhmadaliev or a who else were you? Oh, Tapalis, who in a way just knocked out. You risk the payday, but if you're not ready for him, is it worth it? So yeah, you can't keep fighting blokes like Mark Schliebs.
Yeah, but what you got to also look at is through an elite professional fighter's eyes. Now, as fans, it's probably, it doesn't make sense. Oh, gee, why the hell would you fight Inoue for? He's going to knock you in the next week, and why bother? What you got to look at through is Sam Goodman's eyes. Sam Goodman has sacrificed most of his life for this sport, continues to sacrifice a lot, and has that animal inside him, or whatever you want to call it, says, I want to fight the best. But Sam Goodman would have no issue at all fighting Inoue, and his thoughts wouldn't be that, oh, geez, it's Inoue, oh, my God. A bit like with Jason Maloney when he fought him, who I thought was probably a better version than maybe what he is now because he's a bit lighter. But Sam Goodman would be looking at the Inoue fight as in, this is a dream come true for me, and I want to test myself against the best. I want to have a shot at the world title. Now, I know deep down, even his team would be thinking, oh, shit, geez, I wish there was an easier way, but it is what it is. It's a bit like, Horn went through Pacquiao, and Kambosos went through Lopez, and no one gave him a chance. I don't think he stands much of a chance against Inoue, but as I said, you've got to look at it through a professional fighter's eyes. They want to fight the best and have the biggest fights they possibly can. And if they win, they win. And if they don't, well, they regroup and go again. So I don't subscribe to the fan theory of, oh, my God, why would you even bother? And surely he doesn't want to fight Inoue. I think he'd love to fight Inoue. I think, have you frozen there, Kyle? Sorry, mate. Talking to myself. So what did you guys think about that anyway? Do you agree? I'm just looking at through like the Jeff Horn fighting Pacquiao, Kambosos fighting Lopez and Haney, and now Lomachenko. They want to test themselves against the best. Jeff Fennick, Azuma Nelson, Jeff Harding, Dennis Andrews, Lester Ellis, and One Kill You. Just go back through history. The best fighters want to fight the best in the world. They just do. So, right, a Big J. Sorry to Kyle as well, mate. I don't know what happened there. There he is, Big J. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, didn't really watch it, mate, because where the angle I'm sitting there, I have to look through a glass window to actually see the TV. But he got the job done, so.
Yep.
But on the Sam Goodman thing, I think he's going to be this generation's Glenn Kelly. Do you remember who Glenn Kelly was?
Yeah, fought Roy Jones, yep.
6 rounds, and then Jonesy knocked him out.
Yep,
and
yep.
Same thing's going to happen to Sam Goodman. He'll get one shot, and that'll be the end of him. And I think, honestly, in a way, is going to decapitate this poor bastard. And I don't want to see that because, in all honesty, who's Sam Goodman actually fought to warrant a title shot? Has he fought anyone? He hasn't fought any champions, former or current, and no one top 5. He's going to get slaughtered.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, no, I agree. And Matthew Tattersall agrees with you too. Does not want Inoue, nor does anyone in Australia at the moment. Well, I think if you had talked to Sam and his team, and they had picked anyone in the world they'd like to fight for the world title, I agree. They probably wouldn't want to fight Inoue. But what I'm saying is that you don't, because I'm not quite sure, you probably do, Big J, but a lot of fans don't realise the sacrifice that these guys make. They give up their life. They're up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They're dieting, they're training, they're away from their family, all that sort of stuff. They don't go through all that just to go, no, maybe I don't want to fight him. No, it's like, bring it on. Bring it on. They want to test themselves.
Inoue is not a guy that's going to beat you. Inoue is a guy that will hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hurt you permanent.
Yep.
So you got to think that worth
okay,
the risk.
Mickey.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like Mickey said, he'll hurt you and he'll hurt you.
He's a wrecking machine.
It is. I mean, in a way, it doesn't fuck around. I shouldn't swear because the young girl's watching. No, the young lady's watching. If Emma's watching, I shouldn't. She's watching, so you don't go swearing while these young ladies watching.
Yeah.
So, you don't go. That guy doesn't muck around. I mean, look what he did to Jason. Jason got folded. So, and as I said in the comments, I think it'll be a career-ending loss. So you have to weigh that up. I mean, of course you'd be mad if it's in the Tokyo Dome and there's 60,000 people there, and because he's not anyone who thinks that he's going to come to Australia.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit dilute. But here's the thing: Bob Arum, Australia owes a lot to Bob Arum because he's brought Pacquiao. 2 Haney fights,
Haney.
and now Loma to this
Yep.
country.
Yep.
So anyone that has anything
he
to
also
say,
bought, he also brought Andy Ruiz to New Zealand to fight Parker.
okay, yep, fair enough. So
Yep.
anyone who has, I don't think anyone does have a bad word to say against
No.
Paul Barham. Certainly
No.
not from this country, because
No.
I met him. He's a sweet old fellow. I mean, I couldn't get over how tiny he was.
He's tiny.
He's tiny, but he's a lovely man.
But know what I'm saying though? Like back in the day, you remember like Marvin Hagler, undisputed middleweight champion, and I don't think anyone wanted to fight him. But unfortunately, to win the title, you got to go through him. And he wasn't as destructive as what Inoue was. He was destructive in his own way, but it wasn't a massive puncher. Inoue, like you said, punches and he hurts and destroys. And I get that. But what I'm trying to say is that Sam Goodman and his team in an ideal world wouldn't want to fight Inoue, but guess what? You're a 122-pound fighter. Inoue holds a belt, so like it or not, you got to fight him. And I think if he gets in the ring, and even if he gets demolished in 2 rounds, hey, hats off. You dared to dream.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to have a crack. And I mean, it's very much like Tyson was back in the 80s. No one wanted to fight that bugger back in the 80s. No,
and that's probably the best example of all. Mike Tyson. I mean, you look at the look in the eyes of Frank Bruno and Bruce Seldon, and
Speaking of Tyson, I hope he knocks Jake Paul's head into Oklahoma. I hope he decapitates that punk.
I do too, but
worse than what I'm going to do to McAllister if he ever gets in the ring.
Jai McAllister, come on.
There's no beef. He just said one day he could beat me. I said, look, son, I'm going to give you a good hard flogging because you're a smart ass. There's no beef. We're mates. He just thinks he can beat me.
Yeah.
So,
hey, just on another thing, though. You look here, though, Tommy B makes a good point. Like, Jason fought in a way. He wanted to fight the best. Yes, it didn't end well. It went 7 rounds, I think. He's fought his way back to a world title shot. Andy, Nakatani.
Yeah, but Jason's got power and Jason's got skill and Jason's got those body shots. Well, Sam doesn't have any of that. He's a volume worker. He's a volume worker that'll get the job done, but he's got no power, and you need that power at the elite level. Yeah. Same with Justice Mooney. I know I got nothing. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He'll run into a top 10, top 5 guy and get knocked out.
Yeah.
Because he's got the speed of a lightweight, but he's got the power of one too.
Yeah. You're probably right there.
Speed, but he's got no power. And Parker, Joshua, Fury, all the top guys, even Andy Ruiz would beat him.
Yeah.
So I don't see him until all these guys retire. I don't see him getting anywhere because he's got hand issues. So I mean, for a big guy, he's got no power. I mean, He's phenomenal speed. His footwork is phenomenal. He's lovely to watch.
He is. Yeah.
But then again, a blown up cruiserweight almost knocked him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm patterning a shirt, blown up welterweight.
Blown up welterweight? What was the other one the other night I saw that someone said, Keithy's done himself a mischief? I love that one.
Oh, that's Patton. That's been around for like 20 years.
Not for Keith Urban, no?
Yeah, it's on the Chopper Reed site. You can actually...
Oh, can you?
Okay. Yeah, there's actually shirts out there already says Keithy's done himself a mischief. So you can't get that one, mate. It's already been done. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Anthony A. tipping Jai McAllister to beat old mate.
You obviously don't know McAllister very well. He's a chump. He wouldn't last 3 rounds in the ring with me.
Well, we'll have to talk about that later, mate. The fight started anyway. We'll catch you a bit later on.
Right, mate.
All right, guys. So this is the big boys. Now, this is the first round of 4. Now, it is, forgive me, it is Curtis Scott, Joey Leilua. And there are bombs being thrown. Both boys. Now, I've got a feeling Leilua is the one that, if he lands one, it's going to be good night. The only way he can't beat in way is by knockout, but sadly lacks the power to do so. Yeah, that's the big thing, Matthew, and Big J said then there as well. And that's all. I agree with all that. What I'm just saying is that whether it's Inoue, whether it's Hagler, whether it's Tyson, whoever, to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you got to test yourself. And fighters at this level don't go, oh my God, no, I can't fight him. Because he might beat me or knock me out. They don't think that way. He's thinking, I've got a crack at the world title. As these two guys, there's bombs being. I can't explain this or define it anymore to say that the both just let them go. So I'm not sure if it's a 2-minute round or is it a 3-minute round. It might be a 3, I reckon. What's that, Batman? Kyle, I wish he would be, hasn't it looked that foolish about Jake? Yeah, we won't talk about him. I'd rather see Big J McAllister than Paul and Tyson, to be honest. Yep, I agree. Excuse me, Mark. Excuse me, just burp there. Quickest, best payday job I would get if he said yes, Batman, yeah. And Ella Vassan says, I think Goodman on this one. Yep, I agree, Ella. I think pretty easily. Geez, it's just a matter of time before one of these guys goes down, and I've got a feeling it might be Scott. As we end the first round, pretty even round, not really a lot of skill or technique in there, but that's fine. We're not watching it to see a masterclass, are we, with the two rugby boys getting there? It's just going to be just bombs away. I'm not sure whether we should even bother at score this fight, by the way. I think that one of them is going to get chinned at some stage. Luke says Scott should out punch him, but he has a big man coming at him. So he is a big man. Was it a 30 kilo weight difference, I think, as well? Oh, so Scott landed a good right hand, but what's his name? Leilulu, is it? Hang on. Leilua. Joey Leilua. So after this fight, guys, we're into the two main events, Isaac Hardman and Sammy Goodman. So they are 3-minute rounds. So round 2 of 4. Curtis Scott, Joey Leilua. At least Scott's come out and trying to actually jab him, which is probably not a bad strategy. I think if you go out there and just throw bombs, you're going to end up looking at the ceiling, I would think. But go out there and actually start boxing a little bit more. And Leilua is just throwing bombs. So was that a knockdown? He's gone down. It must have been. Yeah, it's a knockdown. I didn't actually see the punch that landed. I thought he actually pushed him, but he looks gone. It's over. Curtis Scott, second round knockout of Joey Leilua. I don't know what the hell happened there. I thought he actually pushed him down. I'll have to watch the replay, but that's it. All over. I think maybe a bit of exhaustion might have had something to do with that as well, guys, I would think. But good old, geez, Curtis Scott, he's landed more punches on himself than he did on his opponent as he punches his chest. I think it was probably more just exhaustion more than anything. But he has got a bloody nose, so maybe he did wear one. I'll have to watch the replay here. Thoughts on the overall skill of this one versus the skill of Mooney Bellchambers? This is, I watch the replay here. Or was a right hook, and then he pushed him down. I'm not sure what happened there. So it was glancing left, a right hook that didn't really look to land that heavy, and then he's pushed him down, and he's been counted out. So he threw a big... That is bizarre, guys. He threw a big right hand and missed. Got grazed with a right hand and grazed with a left hook, and then got pushed to the ground and then got counted out. I've got a feeling that was just exhaustion rather than the power of Scott there, guys. Thoughts on the overall skill? I thought the Mooney Bellchambers fight was a hell of a lot better, Jules. You've got to remember, the NRL boys, they're big guys. The AFL guys are nowhere near as big as them, and they're a bit leaner, the AFL guys, so they tend to stand up and box a bit more conventionally, where the NRL boys, they're just big beasts, and they just go and throw bombs until one of them gets knocked out. So I think the Mooney Bellchambers fight even that wasn't great, by the way, Jules, let me say, but I think it was a little bit better technically wise than that one. And Mooney, now the thing is, if you're not an AFL guy, Mooney was a real enforcer in AFL, really feared guy on the football field, and he got knocked the hell out against Bellchambers. Not sure his street cred would have meant much after that one. Yeah, 30 kilos difference, and he's the one that got knocked out. He didn't take a dive, did he? Well, Matthew, I'm just looking at it from afar. There wasn't a big punch landed there. There just wasn't. I don't think he took a dive. I think he's just exhausted and took the opportunity to maybe have an early night. So I don't think he didn't take a dive. I think he was just done. 3.5 minutes into the fight, by the way, which is another thing with these football fights. Yep. He looks okay now, but I think he's hit the deck and maybe it's taken the wind out of him. He certainly didn't look, well, he did look hurt, but I don't know why, because he got hit with 2 grazed-in punches. But anyway, one step closer to the 2 main fights. That's good. As you can see, Ella made her account. Oh, okay, Ella. Sorry, I didn't even realise that was you. There you go. And I agree, Ella. I think a Goodman gets the job done. Let's hear what he has to say. I'm not sure whether you can hear that, guys. Maybe I'll just turn it down a tad so I don't get flagged. Now, guys, if you're a rugby fan, who is this Scott? Curtis Scott. Who is he? Fill me in. I'm an AFL man. I have no idea who these guys are. So fill me in. Mark's obviously an AFL man. Same as NRL. No skill compared to AFL. Geez, you're asking for it there, Mark. I think personally the AFL is the most skillful sport in the world. You've got all these different sports. It's a 360-degree sport. You have to have the best of gridiron and rugby and basketball and soccer all rolled into one. And ice hockey all rolled into one. But that's just me. Don't want to upset our NRL guys and girls out there. DJ, Barry Hall would have been 100. Yeah, probably would have, DJ. See, he's looking to fight again. I don't know why. Who knocked him out? Sonny Bill, didn't he? He used to play for Storm and Raiders. Okay, well, he played for... Look, I do take an interest in the Melbourne Storm. I don't sort of watch their games, but I see whether they've won or lost or anything like that. But, yeah, okay, so... Must be pretty good then if he played for the Melbourne Storm. Just going to watch the replay again. So a glancing left and a glancing right, and then pushes him down, and he gets counted out. Glancing left. Nope. Nothing of note landed there, guys. I don't know. It's got to be fatigue and exhaustion. Has to be. Because he got hit with way better punches than that in the first round and barely moved. Barely even blinked. That's definitely exhaustion, I think, there, guys. Who won? Chris Scott with a second-round knockout rab over Joey Leilua, I think it was. And as I said, mate, I think it was more exhaustion and fatigue. But prove me wrong. Well, I'd like to see that. Didn't you know it's the biggest sport in the world now, Mark? They played in Las Vegas. It's the biggest sport in the world now. Don't know how many tickets they gave away over there. Oh, I'm not looking to start a fight, but one thing I will say, though, is that the AFL could take some notes about how to actually market their game because the NRL are leaving them for dead. Well, we did have 4 games in the Northern States on the weekend, though. That'll do it. That'll get the game going. But anyway, I will take my hat off to the NRL about that. They show the AFL a clean set of heels when it comes to marketing the sport and growing the sport. Well, not really growing, but marketing. All right. I'm pretty sure got suspended from both teams and no one wanted to sign him due to his wrist, so he turned to boxing. What do you make of is it young Leopai? He's fighting on the Adelaide show with the other AFL footballers. Now, apparently there was all the clubs, or 6 or 7 clubs out there looking to sign him. He's obviously Alex Leopai, his son, and he's given that up to go into boxing. Now, I wish someone would pull him aside and say, mate, you're probably going to earn $500,000, $700,000 a year in NRL. Do you really want to take the risk in boxing where there's absolutely no guarantees whatsoever? It's a tough, tough sport to get into. And as we've seen with a lot of the rugby players, probably bar Paul Gallen, who had some moderate success, it's bloody tough to punch on with someone. So, I don't know, I'd be saying, if I was his dad, saying, hey, mate, you're guaranteed 500, 600, $700,000, maybe even more. Maybe be smart and stick to NRL. But anyway, it's a free country, free world. All right, that's Roy. Hope you're going well. G'day, mate. Heard Paro Matisse is back on the table. Yeah, it's back on the table, Roy. It hasn't been signed or anything yet, but yes, they are talking. We talked about it a little bit earlier tonight that Eddie Hearn wants the fight. So if what Eddie wants, he gets, I suppose. You see the advertisement at the moment too, Liam Wilson. You can see him knocking down, well, you can't see, but he's knocking down Emmanuel Navarrete. He's in with Oscar Valdez. Really looking forward to that fight, and I'll be there for that one. Can't wait. Got my Liam Wilson T-shirt. Got it around here somewhere, ready to go. DJ, AFL players would have to be some of the fittest athletes in the world. 100% DJ, they are. And look, all those types of athletes are, but AFL are a different type of fitness because you've got like players like basketball. Most of them have to be lean, and ice hockey players have to be brutish, and the rugby players have to be brutish. AFL players have to be a mixture of everything. So there's Big J again. Look out. Hang on, mate. I'll bring you in. There he is. You're back.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Back. It looked like he took a bloody sleep, didn't he? Didn't look too flash.
Well, what did you think? I was looking at it. He took like the glancing left that just grazed by him. The glancing right sort of hit him, but wasn't hard. And he got pushed down, and that was it.
It looked like he half body to body suplexed him. Now, these blokes are used to getting thrown around like that. He should have bounced straight back up.
Well, he got hit with heaps better punches than that in the first round and didn't even blink. So I don't know what the hell happened.
Mate, it's boxing. It's NRL. Who the hell knows? There's probably 20 hands in what the hell goes on. Let's just leave it and just move on because there's proper fights coming up.
Yeah, well, I've got the two main ones now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like Liam Pyro, I think that's another guy. I feel sorry for Liam because old mate's just going to do the same thing. He's going to get murdered, which is Liam's in exactly the same boat as Sam Goodman. Hasn't fought any champions. Hasn't fought really anyone bar a mid-carder.
You don't give him a chance against any of those guys? Oh.
Sorry?
Oh, I lost you there. You don't give Liam Paro a chance against any of those guys, Matthias or anyone?
Matthias definitely not. I think Matthias will knock his head off. Devin Haney's far too good. Teofimo on a bad night, I reckon he could actually beat Teofimo.
What about Rolly Romero? He has to be a chance to beat Rolly.
Yeah, I think he'd roll Rolly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pun intended. I actually think, but not against, because old mate, he's literally decapitating people. Matthias, or whatever his name is, the IBF bloke, he is literally putting people in hospital.
Yeah.
So, and yeah.
Makes them quit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why he'd want to fight him. I mean, Teofimo is a much better fight because it's like fighting Harada back in the 60s who fought Lionel Rose, then Johnny Femishon and lost to both.
Yep.
So history repeating itself. I'm showing my age now, aren't I?
Yeah.
Well, this all happened before I was even born, but, so.
Got a question here. Maybe you can help answer it as well. Can you see more UFC fighters come into boxing after they've seen what Francis has made in 2 fights? I think they will because of the money.
Yeah, because of the payday. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. But I was surprised yet not surprised that happened to Francis because AJ wasn't mucking around. And let's be honest, yes, Francis can hit, but his guard was absolute garbage because their guard is different in UFC. Their guard's different. I mean, that Spanish bloke that knocked out Volk, that guy's had boxing training. You can tell.
Yeah. Well, I said that in my review as well. You could tell that because he didn't barely throw a kick. He didn't try and take him down. That was purely boxing and nice tight guard. And that's what I was saying on Talking Boxing the other night. You would have seen it that the MMA guys who continue to say that, well, he's, in boxing, he had been in the street and Ngannou would have killed him. I don't subscribe to it because they're judging that on an MMA guy's ability to fight with his fists, not an elite boxer's ability to fight with his fists. So what they look at is you take away everything apart from the fists of 2 MMA guys. Of course, the one that's allowed to do everything's going to win. But in boxing, take it from me, the balance and timing and range and skill and footwork that an elite boxer has, don't put your money on purely thinking that in the street that an MMA guy wins.
It's common bloody sense. MMA fighters that go to boxing will lose. Boxers that go MMA will get ripped in half like James Toney did when he took on Randy Couture. That lasted 2 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm surprised it took Randy that long to get to him. So I think Randy was just playing with him for about a minute or so there, and then he just got sick of it. So, but, I mean, it's it's like when a league player goes to union. They're similar yet very different. You can't. You can't. They're apples and oranges. They're two completely different games. Or like when Israel Folau went to AFL, miserably failed. Never should have done it. So
Yeah.
an NRL player can't play AFL and vice versa. So they've got to think. But I mean this. I think the announcement for the undercard for Loma George is going to happen within the next 24 hours.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yep.
I believe so.
Okay.
I would love to see. Do you honestly think Alex Winwood would beat Jeff Fenech's record? And if he does, here's the more important question: will he get the praise that he deserves? Because that record stood for a very long time, and I don't think anyone thinks anyone's going to beat it.
Well, as much as I love Jeff, I mean, the fact that he got the fights in Toshi Shingaki, who's probably one of the, not so weak, but you know what I mean, like one of the, not weak.
The IBF handed in the belt.
Yeah, the IBF belt was like the IBO or something now. It's just, it means not much. But, I think so. I don't think Jeff had beaten anyone remotely resembling a world-class fighter when he got his shot, and Alex hasn't really either, so I don't see any difference. I think if he wins anything except like an IBO or WBF or something, if it's one of the big four, then, I think he deserves all the credit in the world, for sure.
Yeah, but do you think he'll get it? There's the difference.
What's he had, four fights?
Yeah, I think 4, maybe 5.
Well, but isn't it interesting? One of the guys he actually beat last year in Perth actually just fought for the world title a couple of months ago. Who was that? I can't remember who it was. But so it's possible. And look, the thing is it minimum weight? There is the talent pool must be about this deep, surely. So
but the thing is, to his advantage, the champion is a Japanese bloke and who's got under top rank. So all the stars are going to line up.
Yeah.
Because hopefully, if it's not on the George card, it's hopefully on Inoue's next big fight in Japan.
Could be.
Because the Japan market hasn't been this big since, the 60s?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, the last big fight they had in Japan was Tyson versus Douglas. For my mind.
The Tokyo Dome, yep.
Tokyo Dome. And now Inoue is just pretty much a boxing god there. Hang on. There's people walking out. Oh, bugger them, they can wait. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got... So Hardman and Severus coming up. Before I let you go, Big J, what do you think, George and Paro? Any possibility of happening?
No. I've spoken to George. He said he's not going to 140. He's a naturally 135er. I don't think it'll happen. That was when I spoke to George for a Haney George 2. He said flat out he doesn't want to go to 140, and he's never mentioned it. So I don't believe he ever will.
No, I agree.
And even if he does, George will just run rings around Liam. I think so. He's far too experienced. He's had the bigger fights. Yeah. So I want Liam and Sam to win the world titles, but against the blokes they're going up against, it's it'll need to be a Buster Douglas performance to get the job done.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it's a very slim chance.
Yeah, exactly. All right, mate. Well, the next fight's about to start. Isaac Hardman and Savadera. I haven't got my glasses on. Was it Edney, isn't it, or something like that? Anyway,
some bloke.
And Ella, yes, it's about to start. So, Big J, thanks, mate. We'll talk to you a bit later on.
Right, mate.
All right, so just about to start now, Ella. Both boys in the ring, about to be introduced. So, is it Esney or Edney? Endry Saavedra and the head splitter, Isaac Hardman. So I think he's a Venezuelan who lives in Mexico. I thought it might have been the other way around. So 15-1, 12 knockouts. So very, very good record. On paper, anyway. Gets the boos from the Mad Bunch, I would say. He's done pretty well, Hardman, getting the Mad Bunch on board because they booed him last time. Oh, sorry, I missed him there. Big one, quick one for Big J. What do you think of Jack from the UFC, the Aussie? How good is he in boxing? Great performance on the weekend. Yeah, sorry, mate. With Big J's in the chat, let's see if you can answer that. But I didn't actually see that myself. Dundee Luke, come on, the head splitter, 100%, mate. It looks all business tonight, does the head splitter. So 15 and 2, 13 knockouts. Blair Studley in his corner. Great guy, Blair Studley. One of the good ones. Really good bloke. There he is, the head splitter. All right, so they go to the centre ring. Very similar size, so height-wise, physique-wise. I wonder if Savadera has actually watched some tape of Isaac, because if he has, I would say maybe start slow. Don't get too brave, because Isaac has knocked a lot of guys out early. Who have I got? I've got Hardman Ella, but I think Savadera will give him a good fight. Very good fight. 2016 Olympian, so he knows how to fight. All right. So first of 10. Yeah, nice and tight. Isaac hasn't come out too reckless. He's boxing well. Nice, yeah, just a bit of landed a right hand. It's got his daughter's name on his trunks, Evander. So if you're watching, it's not Evander Holyfield. His daughter's actually named Evander. Takes a jab. So he looks okay, Savadera. Looks okay. Looks like we're going to have a very even fight here, unless, of course, someone lands a bomb. There we go. There's Carl in the chat. How you going there, Carl? Not sure if you're watching the show, mate, the actual show, but let us know your thoughts if you are. So good even round for starters. I know we've only been going just under a minute and a half, but both very similar styles almost. Stand up, nice tight defence, good jabs, followed by right hand. So Isaac lands a right hand there. One thing I just don't like is the fact that Savadera is coming forward. Because Isaac, very, very dangerous early in the fight. Just missed that right hand there. And Savadera comes back. So we've got a good fight. Good test for Isaac. Good amateur background and 17 fights, I think, was it? 15 fights, whatever it was. Carl just listening in. Oh, good body shot from Savadera and right hand. Nice right hand. He's definitely got some skill, has Savadera. I think he's had the best of this round so far. Another left and a right. Good punches. And Hardman backing up, which is something you don't really see him do that often. Comes back with a nice right hand, but Savadera, good defence. 10 seconds to go. And he backs Isaac to the ropes and lands some good shots. Nice. And lands a little right on the bell as well. So I think I've got to give that round to Savadera. Really good boxing from him that round. Whether he can do it for the whole 10 rounds is another thing, but boxer very smart, nice and tight, hands up, good jab, nice and tight, and landed some good punches, especially counter right hand. So Isaac's got a fight. Yeah, Jules, not his usual game. But the opponent forces you to do that as well. And, I think the fact that Savadera, good head movement, good defence. I think Isaac had to almost just give himself a little bit of room to try and get some leverage. And Savadera was able to close the range and fight on his terms. So I thought that was a really good round by Savadera. Would have liked to hear Isaac's corner and not this bloke in the crowd, to be honest. I can't really hear anything. Sorry, Jules. I can hear a little bit of Ben Damon, vaguely, but that's about it. So into round number 2 of 10. And Isaac, look, he looks intent to box. He's jabbing, looking for the right hand. Both fighters very, very busy. And Savadera, he looks the part. Well, yeah, very poised, good balance, good footwork, good defence. Lands a jab and another jab. Carl says, do you think Isaac is close to world level? Close, yeah. I don't think he's at world level, Carl. I think, well, I'm not quite sure enough about this guy, but looks good so far. If he can get past this guy, well, maybe he is. But I mean, he's shown in the past with Murdoch and Zarafa that maybe he's not. But at least he's given himself an opportunity. And sometimes all you got to do is get an opportunity, and the rest takes care of itself. But at the moment, he's eating jabs and he's eating counter right hands. Good right hand from Savadera. Actually has Isaac backing up. Good punches. Now he continually is eating that counter right hand. So he's jabbing, and on the way back, it's not coming back to his cheek, and he's wearing the counter right hand. Left hook this time, and a lead left hook at that. Exactly, Carl. He's Mexican, didn't come to lay down. They never do, mate. Absolute warriors. Luke says, do you see Isaac handling the pressure? Well, he's got to do something, Luke, because he's eating jabs and he's eating counter right hands. And Savadera still looks like he's in first gear. And does Isaac have the power at this level? Hasn't really been that big knockout puncher that he was early in his career as he stepped up. So he's going to need it. I know it's only the second round out of 10. What have we got, 40 seconds to go? But so far, Savadera having all the success. Landing good jabs, good counter rights, good hooks. Combination punching now. Another jab. Another counter right hand. And sometimes, unfortunately, I think it was Carl that asked the question about being world level. Sometimes you don't know you're at the level until it's too late. You get in there and you get a touch-up. We've all been through it, but he's going to need to find something here because at the moment, he's getting countered all over the place. So, and I think the second round, that's the end of that. I think Savadera wins another round. Jules says, I fear Savadera already figuring Isaac out. Well, I think it took him around, Jules. And I think Isaac's struggling with those really good counters. He's being timed really, really well. So Savadera, he's waiting for Isaac to jab, and he's coming straight back with the right hand. If Isaac gets in the pocket, as they say, and doesn't punch, then he's throwing a lead hook or a lead overhand right, and he's landing. So this is the problem with Isaac at the moment. He's coming in and punching, but he's pulling out straight back with his chin up, hands down, and he's being caught. So Blair Studley needs to give him some advice of maybe when he punches to maybe close it up rather than step back. Punch and get close and step off and give him a new angle or just something. Because at the moment he's punching, stepping back, and he's being countered. As we go into round number 3. So Isaac comes out fast, but again, it's a counter right hand. He's going to have to show, from what I've seen, I know it's only the start of the third round, but he's going to have to show another dimension that he hasn't been able to show in any of his fights so far. Because if he just fights the way he is at the moment, he's going to be picked off for the entire fight. And the more of those punches that land, he's going to be in some trouble. So he's going to need to change things up a little bit. Let's see if he can do it. Oh, hang on. What do we got there? A couple of comments there. Yeah, Isaac is buggered, won't go past 4. That's the other thing, Big Joe. You see it as well. He looks fatigued already. Because you know what? He's not being able to fight the fight at his pace, which is what you can normally do sometimes if you've got your opponent a little bit overmatched. You can fight when you want to fight. You can rest when you want to rest. You sort of fight it to your pace. Savadera is making Isaac fight at a fast pace. He's countering and then he's attacking. And don't get me wrong, Isaac hasn't been bad. I think he's actually fighting okay, jabbing okay, throwing that right hand, but he's just getting countered. Won't go past 4. Well, that's an interesting statement there, mate. We'll see. Jack, your mate Steve was on the phone. How are we looking? Isaac's not looking... Well, it's only the 3rd round, Jack, so we're only sort of still warming up. But so far, he's eaten jabs and he's eaten counter right hands. Having a better round this round, though, I will say. But Savadera just seems to be biding his time. Luke says, any chance he's saving himself up to let the Mexican use up his energy? No, I don't think so. You don't save yourself in fights like this, Luke. When you're at this level, you can't afford to save yourself and hope they punch themselves out and get tired, because they don't. And Savadera at the moment just has the answers. I actually think Isaac's winning this round, though, but it's purely more so that Savadera, although he does land a good right hand there, Savadera, it's just that Savadera isn't really punching or the same output that he was in the first 2. So 30 seconds to go. I don't know, Isaac, don't do that. Switch to southpaw briefly. Don't do that. All right, Jules, instructions from the corner to stay away from the left hook. Well, that's good, but I'd also be looking at that counter right hand that's just popping every single time he throws it. Having said that, though, I've given Isaac this round so far because Savadera hasn't really thrown anything. Isaac, good round, just being busy. So I'm going to give that round to Isaac Hardman. So maybe we've seen a case of Savadera. Maybe he's punched himself out or whatever, but Isaac doesn't look overly fresh himself, though, we'll say. But he's had to work pretty hard that round to get back into the fight, so it's a credit to him. Hartman ranked 30th, Savadera 189th. Yeah, I don't get that. Yes, Ella, come on, Isaac. Carl says, is he walking forward or on the back foot? He's actually, that round he was more, I won't say he was on the front foot. The first 2 rounds he was going backwards, Carl, and Savadera was just coming forward nice and tight and just countering him. That round, though, I think he's just a lot busier. He wasn't sort of sitting, he wasn't punching and standing still. So he was punching and then taking a quick step back but out of range, whereas in the first 2 rounds, he was stepping back, but more so with his body rather than his feet. So he was still in range and getting counted. But that round, he seemed to be in and out a little bit better. So let's hope this can be the trend going forward. Fights like this, you realise the lack of head movement on Isaac. Yeah, well, I've said that in the past a lot, Tommy. Head up in the air. I don't like the fact his back leg is so straight either. I think how hard he hits, how much harder he could punch if he actually bent his knees a little bit and brought his weight forward. But he does tend to have that head up in the air and doesn't have any side-to-side movement. It's just straight up and down, which can be an easy target. Yeah, Glenn, switching for the sake of switching is beyond pointless. Yep, that's my pet hate, mate. I hate seeing fighters that don't do it regularly just decide, oh, well, you know, what harm can I do to switch to southpaw? We'll just ask Francis Ngannou about that on the weekend. So round number 4. Sadara, good jab, good right hand. All right, so we've been going about 2.5 hours there, guys. We're not into the main event yet. So, look, he's better. He's fighting better, but Sadara still is continuing to land those counter right hands. Has slowed a little bit though, Sadara. So maybe is it Saavedra? But he's still landing that jab and right hand as Isaac steps out. One good thing that Isaac is doing, as I said, like he's stepping out just out of range, but he's also going off to the side now and not just going in a straight line. What do we got? Who's landing the cleaner shots? Oh, look, I think Saavedra is landing the cleaner shots, Luke, but Isaac is probably landing a few more now. It's just busier. It's just being a lot busier. Yeah, Glenn, his back leg. I've always said that. He needs to bend the back leg. Hardman definitely needs to bend the back leg. Yep, I have no idea how he gets the power he does with his style. Well, he's definitely got power. Imagine how hard he could punch if his technique was a little bit better with his feet. Saavedra, I think, is having more success this round, though. Isaac at this stage does look a little bit fatigued, but then so does Saavedra. It's been a pretty good pace so far. Yep, I need some water. Thank you. Yeah, the pace has been very, very hectic so far, so you can probably forgive both guys for slowing down a little bit, but Isaac still, he's just too much up and down. That wasn't a bad right hand, but I think Saavedera's had the better of the exchanges. Lands a good right hand. As we end round 4, guys, so I've got it 3 rounds to 1 so far for Saavedra, or Saavedra. Sorry if I've pronounced it wrong. I didn't actually hear the way they pronounced it. Tommy, what's that, mate? Love your comments. You'd be great on commentary. Well, it's good when you're in your own home, mate, doing your commentary. It might be a bit different being on the screen under the pressure with the bright lights. Nathan Nicolo on those A shows, love listening to also. Yeah, he does. He does a really good job. Ella says, probably both, maybe the Mexican at this point. Luke, yeah. Lukey, is that what you call your dad, is it? Lukey? Yeah, no, I think 3 rounds to 1, Ella. Having said that, though, you got to go for the home cooking tax as well, so maybe it's 2-2. But I think, if anyone's watching out there, let me know what you think. But I think Saavedra has won 3 of the 4. What's that, Carl? George Cambosa switched to southpaw against Devon in the second fight and never threw a punch. Yeah, that was some of the worst strategy I've ever seen in my life. Carl? Yeah. Tara keeping Lyndon hydrated on your Tara. Yeah, well, it's been a pretty, what do I say? We've been going 2.5 hours, so... All right. So round number 5. Harbin in the black, Saavedra in the white. Good fight so far. Good even fight. And as I said, even though I've got Saavedra up, I wouldn't be surprised if it's even on the scorecards at the moment. All right. So slow just a little bit, but you expect it after 4 torrid rounds. I just hope that as the fight goes on that Isaac doesn't leave himself even more open, which can happen with fatigue. Good jab from Saavedra, good counter right hand. Goes to the body as well, a little bit low. And that's the thing, it's probably the thing I'm seeing the most here is that Isaac is going in a straight line when he pulls out. Got caught with a right hand there. And slowly but surely, Isaac's chin's going up and his hands are coming down. So, dangerous mix. Yeah. So, yeah, the pace definitely has slowed a little. Ella, I've been here since the start of the live. Appreciate that, Ella. I wasn't quite sure we'd have many on here. What have we got? 55 watching at the moment, so that's pretty good. I'd say 55 people who didn't buy the fight, I would say. You know, remember there was 78% of you guys and girls out there said you weren't going to buy it, which is staggering. Not surprising, by the way. Because if I wasn't doing this, I probably wouldn't buy it either. But that we've already been over that. Carl, bit of home cooking in the judging department. Yeah, well, again, mate, I'm keeping that in mind. We'll factor that in at the end, I think. But I think Saavedra is having a little bit of the best, or a little bit better of the exchanges in this round. Isaac looks tired. Saavedra does look a little bit fatigued as well, but he's landing the better shots and just keeping his shape a little bit better than what Isaac is. Isaac's chin is slowly going up in the air, which is not good. Yeah, 10 rounds, Glenn. Yep. Luke, she's purely going for comments. We're not even watching it. Okay, yeah, I forgot you're not paying for it. Yep, that's all good. Yes, Carl, we haven't said it yet. Hit the like button. Better yet, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Nath says Hardman also constantly leaves his mouth open. Who would buy this? Well done, Carl. You bought it. Yep. Supporting Aussie boxing. Hey, look, the one thing I'm hoping as we finish round 5, by the way, I've given that round to. I'm going to give it. Look, it was a close round. I'm going to give it to Hardman just because the even up effect. I've got to put myself in the judge's position here. Got to look after the home boy or the hometown, not his hometown, but I'm going to give that round to Hardman. Close. So the fight stats, guys. Saavedra thrown 254, landed 105. Hardman's thrown 952, landed 95. So it's pretty close. So Hardman's thrown a lot more punches, but landed about 10 less. All right. Glenn, everything is pay-per-view according to No Limit. Yeah, they've copped a shellacking on social media, haven't they, No Limit? This is the mob that a year or so ago could not do anything wrong. Couldn't do anything wrong. And now, that's how quick it can turn. Big J's, we start round 6. Pay-per-view that low. This pay-per-view is that low-key, you couldn't even sell the fight poster on eBay to recoup your costs. Oh, you're a bad man. Yeah, Hardman is in deep water here as Bot. He's in a bit of trouble, I think. Although, started the round okay. Saavedra looks, I've said it a couple of times, looks like he's slowing down a little bit. But Hardman, he's not, well, that's a good right hand, but again, takes the counter left hand. Switching to southpaw, he moves away. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm not going to... So very even fight at this stage. Again, Isaac goes back in a straight line. Makes it a lot easier for Saavedra to counter. He's moving okay, though. I just wouldn't mind seeing, as he is, off to left or right, not go back first, because that's when he's being countered. Good right hand from Isaac, but he wore one in return. A lot of clinching now. So what is it, round number 6? So about halfway through round number 6 at the moment. And I think Isaac's had the better of this round so far. So Les Fear giving him a warning to say break up when I tell you to. Yeah, Glenn, I'm with you there, mate. Switching again. Yep, I hate to see it. Jules says Isaac's being asked to turn the work rate up. Yeah, I don't know. Has he got it in him? He takes another right hand and clinches. He looks pretty spent at the moment. Nath Mays, would Hardman struggle against Tapia's technical style? Therefore, I think Tapia wins that fight, Nath. If you had to ask me to make a decision. Tapia's a good kid, really good kid. Or man. Going blow for blow at the moment, these two. Can't do that, Isaac. He's holding and hitting, but Les Fear not pulling him up. So Isaac's starting to come forward a bit more now, and Saavedra is backing up and starting to clinch. So maybe we could see Isaac just come over the top of him now because he looks very fatigued now, Saavedra, sorry, I kept saying his name wrong. And Isaac's starting to throw some bombs. Yep, he wants that right hand for sure. Yeah, good round for Isaac. He's taken a couple, but Saavedra is nowhere near as effective as he was in the first 2 or 3 rounds. So I'm going to give that one to Isaac. So on my card, I've got it 3 rounds each, but with the hometown tax, or the home promotion tax, it might even be 4-2 for Isaac. Better round. Casper says, don't think Hardman is quite the power puncher they make him out to be. No, I don't think so. It's funny though, Casper, because early in his career, he used to fight at light heavyweight and just iron people out. Now, I know obviously maybe the level wasn't as good as it is now, but his first 3 fights, he fought Lucas Miller, Matt Sheehan, and another young kid who was a gun amateur. And a good uppercut there did Isaac on the replay there. But now, yeah, I think it's probably to be expected as he's moved up in class that the power looks to have subsided. But, yeah, not a bad round from him. Yeah, he's gassed. I think they're both gassed, Carl, but I think Saavedra is more gassed. That makes sense. But yeah, Luke, yep, he had a good round. So into round number 7. So it's been a good fight so far. So Vedra looks like he's found his second win, but Hardman goes with him. Both boys clinch. Yep, good. Lesfier lets them fight out of it. Good. Good jab from Saavedra. Yeah, and another good counter right hand. So round 7 of 10, or a minute in. And very, very even fight so far, I think, anyway. Yep, Ella, yep, he's doing a lot better. Saavedra lying on the ropes now. Isaac trying to line him up. Looks really fatigued now, does Saavedra. And Isaac, to his credit, looks like he's found another gear. Starting to land that right hand. And Saavedra nowhere near as much pop in his punches now. Isaac gets warned for holding. Good jab from Saavedra. Now he takes centre ring and backs Hardman up. Looks a bit more comfortable now, does Isaac. Oh, Saavedra, yep, a little bit. Yeah, good punches from Saavedra off the ropes this time. Straight punches and hooks. Nice right hand. I think Saavedra's probably the first half of the round was Hardman, but Saavedra's come back good in the last probably 40 seconds. Both boys clinching. Nath Hardman might out-muscle him throughout the fight. Yeah, well, he's definitely found another gear, Nath. And he's had Saavedra on the back foot most of the round and even on the ropes, but Saavedra on the ropes is having more success. He's actually landing lefts and rights and body shots, landing everything. I know the judges probably might not give it to him, but I've actually given this round to Saavedra with 10 seconds to go. I think he's had a good round. He's found the gear as well. So what are we? 7. So we've got 3 to go, guys. Look, I'm going to give that one to Saavedra, but I'm not sure how the judges will score it because of the pure fact that Saavedra was very much on the back foot and on the ropes a lot for the round, but I thought he landed the more effective punches. I don't think Hardman really landed any, but the fact that he was throwing and had Saavedra pinned on the ropes might be a determining factor. But for me, I would give that round to Saavedra. So I've got him in front 4 rounds to 3 so far. Let me know what the instructions are there, guys, because I can't hear him in the corner there. Something about going to the body, coming up with hooks to the head, I think, from what I can see by his body language. Nath says, I guess it's easier to hit a target that doesn't move like Hardman. Yeah. Well, the thing is, that's the thing, Nath, is the reason he's getting tagged is because obviously neither one of them are moving. There's no movement. You've got Saavedra sitting on the ropes and Hardman straight in front of him, but he's not being busy enough and Saavedra's just letting loose. As I said, I've got a feeling these Australian judges probably would have scored that round to Isaac Hardman. I'll be interested to see the scorecards, but I think Saavedra won that round. So again, Saavedra on the ropes. Hardman throwing the punches, but he looks like he's underwater at this stage. Yeah. Saavedra, I think, has to get off those ropes. Because if he doesn't, even though he might land, I think, the better punches, the judges are not going to give him rounds by lying on the ropes. So back into centre ring. And this is where Saavedra's more effective. Oh, nice left-right from Isaac Hardman there. Just a 1-2 down the middle. I will say, though, that Isaac Hardman's boxing skills have improved a lot over the last couple of years. A lot. And I think he's having the best, or the better of this round. Back on the ropes again, though. Saavedra back to the ropes. Hardman leaning on top of him. If he's leaning on top of him, though, he needs to punch. Because Saavedra almost uses those ropes just to give himself a bit of propulsion. Is that the word? Just to come back and a bit of momentum. It seems to have more success when he's fighting off the rope. So, oh, he lands a good left hand there, Saavedra. Oh, a nice right hand and a left hand from Saavedra. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that Isaac's knees might have buckled a little bit there when he got hit with that right hand. So Saavedra coming forward now. And now it's Isaac who's starting to look spent. He's butchering his... Mate, I can't hear his name. Is it Saavedra? Or has it got a Spanish twang to it? Saavedra? Oh, nice right hand from Isaac. Now he comes forward. Saavedra is going back to the ropes again. Good fight, though. Both fighters throwing a lot of shots. Both landing good shots. Was it 8 rounds or 8th round of 10? And sorry, Carl, I can't turn up the volume to actually hear the way they pronounce his name properly. Yeah, good shot from Saavedra. And I think he's finished. Oh, good shots. Good shot from Saavedra. He's got Isaac hurt. He waves it off. It's over. 8th round. Saavedra stops Isaac Hardman with a flurry in the final 10 seconds of the round. Isaac didn't fight back. The referee has stopped the fight. So I don't care what his name is, Carl, but he's got the job done. Would had to have been 2 or 3 seconds left in the round. He wasn't fighting back. He got rocked. Head going back. Wasn't fighting back. Great call from Les Fear because he wasn't worried about the amount of time left in the fight or in the round. He waved it off when he thought Isaac was done. I think that's a good stoppage. Luke, no. Definitely not looking good for the Aussie. He's been stopped in the 8th round. How was that, Tara? Say Vaedra? Whatever. Bad stoppage, Casper. I don't think the referee had a choice. I thought he got hurt, he got rocked. Maybe he knew there was only 5, 6, 7 seconds left in the round, so maybe give him an extra couple of seconds more than what he probably needed. But I think in the end there, he didn't have a choice but to stop the fight. I'll be looking at the replay, but I just don't think he had a choice. His legs buckled, his chin was up, he was wearing punches one after the other, wasn't fighting back. I think he had to stop the fight. What do you guys think out there, the ones that are watching it? Here's the replay. So the funny thing is he comes off the ropes. Isaac's got him pinned on the ropes. And they clinch. And then he comes out of the clinch and just starts throwing bombs. And he catches him with a left there. Isaac's trying to lean and hold. What he should have done there was clinch. You could see he was exhausted, but he leaned on him and didn't clinch. Didn't hold up his arms or his hands or his gloves. And whatever his name is, just started punching. And the stoppage just came from nowhere. So Isaac there, he should have clinched. Tried to fight back. Saavedra has his tail up, so starts throwing bombs. 1, 2. Oh, I don't know, Casper. Could have been a couple of seconds. I don't know. Huge upset. Was it a big upset on the world scene, Batman? I'm not sure. Big upset here in Australia. Asbot says we have to just admit, as much as we love the head splitter, he's just not an A-level fighter. Yeah, well, as I said, Asbot, sometimes you don't know you're not up to the level until you're not up to the level. But the fact that he challenges himself and takes these fights on and wants to fight the best gives away a lot of weight a lot of the time. Full respect to the head splitter. And unfortunately, it just might be a case of him not being at the absolute elite level. So, Jules, what do you say there, mate? Agree with you. Good stoppage. Isaac could have got really hurt. That guy's better than 700. Well, 100%. 100% he's better than 700 in the world there, mate. And I just think, I don't know. As I said, I think Les Fear gave him an extra couple of seconds because the round was so close to ending, but he just had no choice. The head was snapping back. Isaac, when he was under pressure and Savadera started, he should have clinched, and maybe he didn't know how to clinch properly, but Savadera, he just kept punching. Found that second win once he knew he had Isaac in trouble and just kept going, and I just don't think Les had much option but to stop the fight. Ryan Middleton, give him a 10 count, surely. It's not like that anymore, though, Ryan. You can't, well, there's no standing 8 count, of course, or else that would have been the ideal time to give him a standing 8 count. I know he was probably hoping he'd make it to the end, maybe, but I think he was gone. I think he was exhausted, and I think he was rocked. And I think the fact it was like 4 or 5 big punches in a row, head snapping back, no retaliation. Wasn't like he was getting hit 4 times. His head snapped back 4 times. He was wobbling. I just don't think Les had any choice but to stop the fight. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys think it's a little bit different. But look, I just don't. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Body, head, snap, snap, snap. Good decision. Good decision. Hard to get Hardman another big fight after this one. Yeah, it will be tough. He's come back 3 times now. So let's see what Big J has to say. Please put up the chat link, please. I had to refresh my page. Oh, sorry, mate. Where is it? Copy. Where are we? Oh, look out, Coles. Let's beat you to it. Where are we? See if he's on there. Is he there? I don't know what's going on here, mate. Where are you? Oh, there he is. What'd you think?
Here I am.
Oh, you didn't see it, did you?
No, I heard, and geez, this is an upset. He wasn't even ranked and got knocked out, Lyndon.
Yeah. I'm not sure what he's doing there. Is he wanting to? Oh, you can't see. It looks like he wants to be interviewed. He's left the ring. I'm not quite sure whether he wanted to see a replay or whatever, but yeah, well, Jules, so the replay from behind showed that Isaac was gone. That's what I thought, Jules. Probably took a few more shots of anything, yeah.
Because they need new heroes. If they're going to have Tim fighting in Las Vegas, they're going to need new heroes. And even though Isaac Hardman was very promotable, if he's not winning the big fights, if he keeps getting knocked out, I feel like this is the second time he's been knocked out, isn't it?
Second. Well, the first time he was actually knocked out. Well, actually, the referee did stop that. He wasn't knocked down here, but good call. I mean, Isaac, it's just taking too many shots. And in this day and age, the referees are going to stop it.
Yeah. And geez, this is one of their big fighters. Who is going to stand up? Like Sam Goodman's going to fight Inoue in Japan. That fight won't happen in Australia, no way. You've got Liam Wilson fighting over in America as well as the Zoo Boys. From a domestic scene, I think Angelo DiCarlo is going to kick the crap out of No Limit in the ratings. I tell you that right now.
There's D-Star. What happened, mate? With Isaac, the head splitter Hardman has just been stopped by, what was his name? Savadera. I can't get his name right. Endry Saavedra is how you pronounce it, apparently. He's a Mexican fighter living in Venezuela. And was a heavy underdog, wasn't he, Kyle? And, he got the job done in 8 rounds.
He wasn't even ranked. So when you beat a ranked opponent, do you drop – if you lose to a person that isn't even ranked, do you drop out?
He'll be out of the rankings now for sure. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. You can't lose to a fighter like that.
No.
And, well, this is what happens with crosscoders, because Isaac's a crosscoder in the MMA.
Yeah, he's been a boxer since 2018, though, so it's a long time, 6 years now. Started at 18, or might have been the end of 17, he turned to boxing. So he's been pro 6 or 7 years, so I think he's more boxing now. But he's got to reassess where he's at. Unfortunately, and I'm a massive fan of Isaac. Unfortunately, we can't all be superstars, can't all be world champions. And, he's one of my favourite Aussie fighters, but maybe we've got to accept that maybe he's just not at the level.
Well, yeah, maybe a fight with Rowan Murdoch. Do you think could be in the cards? Maybe a rematch.
Maybe, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't know, mate. But it is what it is. So on to the main event now. Who you got before I let you go? Silly question.
Oh, look, I've got Goodman, and I think he's going to knock him out. I hope.
Knock him out. Okay.
He needs to make a statement. Yeah. Make a statement soon.
Yeah, Sleeves has got the dancing up there. All right, mate. Thanks for that. Talk to you a bit later. All right, guys. Well, that was a tough one. Let's get to a couple of comments. James. God, that sucked. Endry looked good early on, but Saavedra was landing clean shots and working well on the inside. I thought Hardman could get the stoppage late as Saavedra looked fatigued. Well, that's the thing. He 5, 6, 7, those rounds, I thought that Isaac really started to come on and really looked like he'd found his range and was landing some shots, and Saavedra was looking fatigued. It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline can do. He saw that he rocked Isaac and just let them go. And as I said, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out there that thought differently, but I just thought it was a good stoppage. I think in this day and age with boxing, there's a little bit more caution taken these days in the amount of punches boxers take. So I think it was a good stoppage. There's Big J. We'll get him on for a quick chat as well. Hang on. There's just me again. Hang on. There he is. What do you reckon, Big J?
Well, I mean, I was a bit I saw that coming. I did say 4 rounds. It took him a little bit longer, but that proves that Isaac Hardman is a domestic-level B-grade fighter at best. And I think that was proven when he took on Zarafa, because Zarafa, we all thought he was going to win, but I never thought for a second he'd win that quick.
Yeah.
And Isaac Hardman is just a mouth that can't seem to, back it up. Because he talks a lot, but his fists don't do, well, his head doesn't move. He's got his defense is piss poor.
Look, I've said it for a while, BJ, that without being critical of Isaac and Blair Studley, his trainer, I've said for a long time that maybe they should entertain bringing in for the fight camps and everything else someone with a bit more boxing IQ, like a Johnny Lewis or someone that can work with our Glenn. Even
those two are very, very tight. They're like a father and son relationship, those two.
I get that, and that's fine. Like Blair would still be the trainer, but to bring in someone as a consultant just to work on things that maybe an MMA trainer doesn't quite see. We know he's going to be fit and hard and mentally and physically right. We know that's going to be the case. But can a Johnny Lewis come in and say, Isaac, your back legs, it's too straight, mate. You're not moving your head enough. You're not getting enough leverage. You know what I mean? Like, this is boxing. It's a different sport. So just someone to come in and help tweak a few things in camp as a consultant rather than take over as a trainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that Isaac needs is that you can't teach in boxing is a chin.
Yeah.
And then you can't teach that. You're either born with it or you're not. So
yeah.
That's the other. I mean, you can take some shots, but he was taking far too many. And I mean, you saw from about the first or second round that Isaac was in trouble. Isaac, I thought if he was going to get the win, it would have been probably a close decision. Yeah, probably would have got him over the line, as you said, the home ground tax or whatever you were saying.
Yeah,
right?
Home cooking tax. Yep.
Home cookie tax, whatever. But I mean, Isaac has had. This guy wasn't even world level. He's had 2 fights at world level, and he bolted, and now he's had this one, and No Limit must have their head in their hands going, what the do we do now? Because
you're right.
Simp Boy who said it right, Kyle, who have they got domestically? No Limit. They've got no one domestic. Like I said a year ago when I found out about this No Limit, this exclusive deal with Foxtel, this is going to turn around and bite them both in the arse.
Yeah.
And
well, this is also makes you look a bit silly when, yesterday the weigh-in saying that Isaac is in line to fight Jamal Charlo for the world title. I mean, you talk about simps out there. Well,
outside of 2 rounds.
But as I said at the start of the show with the No Limit thing, I mean, George, he talks about, in a way, coming for Sam here in Australia and Charlo coming to fight Hardman. I mean, it's just, anyway.
I mean, as you said, last year these guys could do no wrong, but this is a new year, and it's unfortunate because you've got to appreciate everything that No Limit has done for boxing over the last 5 years. They single-handedly kept the sport going from transition from Mundine to Jeff to Tim.
Yeah.
With Dean Lonergan, those two kept the sport going. But now it's like they've forced the other promoters like Angelo DiCarlo to go get 7 Plus and Mick Francis to go get the Zone. And now we're going to have a shit fight like the Yanks have got, where this fighter only fights on the Zone fights, and this fighter only fights on Fox Sports, and this fighter only fights on 7 Plus. It'd be like, we don't want the same shit show the Americans have got. We're not big enough to have the same shit show the Americans have got.
And the thing is, too, Big J, but they're about to do the introduction, so we'll get to the fight in a second. But the thing is that the different, I think I said it on the show last week, the difference with the Australian boxing scene is that No Limit, they've been given the contract or whatever, the exclusivity, and they get paid to put these shows on. Angelo DiCarlo is 7 Plus. Mick Francis with DAZN and the other guys with Stan, they don't get paid to put the fights on. They have to pay for everything. Those platforms just air their fights. They have to give them a fully produced show. So No Limit is different. That's why I'm a lot harder on them than the others, because they've got the money and resources and everything. They should have all the best fighters in Australia and be putting on the best shows, and they just don't. But anyway, we've got plenty to talk about next week, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we've got plenty to talk about after this fight. So I reckon if he doesn't get it done in 3, it ain't going to look good.
Yeah. We'll see you, mate. All right, well, the introductions are on now, so I'll speak to you a bit later.
Right, mate.
All right, guys, so this is the main event. Is Isaac's MMA background part of his technique flaws? Could be. This is another reason, to everyone out there, that's why I always said about don't judge these fighters against each other, boxer versus MMA guys, just because they both use hands. And I think in the UFC or MMA, the way Isaac fights probably is better because he's on the back foot a little bit more, because I know they kick and knee and everything else. So maybe that's the reason why his back leg's so straight. But that's what I said about maybe getting a boxing consultant on board just to help with that sort of stuff. All right, guys. Well, they've both touched gloves in centre ring, and we are about to get into round number 1. Here we go. Yep, here we go. Bell rings, and it's round number 1. Sam Goodman, Mark Schliebs, 10 rounds in the super bantamweight division, or 122. Oh, nice little left hook counter by Mark Schliebs. So Sam Goodman takes another left hook. Good hook by Mark Schliebs. So Sam Goodman coming forward, looking to set the pace, but so far, I know it's only 30 seconds old, but Mark Schliebs, 2 good counter left hooks. Does he stop Schliebs? I don't see him stopping him, James. I think he wins a dominant 10-round decision. But he's got to be careful, though, because Mark Schliebs has shown he can punch. Arizona. More so just relies on big right hands, D-style, does Isaac Hardman. Look him up on YouTube. He was a killer in MMA. All right, so a minute into the fight. I think Mark Schliebs has been pretty good so far. Jabbing well, countering Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman coming forward, trying to cut the ring on Mark Schliebs. It looks so much bigger to Sam Goodman. Clash of heads there. Neither fighter flinches, though. They keep fighting on. I think Sam Goodman's just got to be careful. He can't get too emotional about it. Because Mark Schliebs, he can fight. He's a talented young guy. Is he at the level that we all think Sam Goodman's at? I don't think so, but he's boxing well so far. Taking his time, jabbing well, and more importantly, countering Sam Goodman. Yep, so Sam Goodman coming forward, pressure on the pace. His throwing punch hasn't really landed anything meaningful yet. But definitely putting the pressure on. I don't know whether it's a deliberate thing, but Mark Schliebs really targeting that counter left hook. And fighting well so far. Good even round. Really good, tough even round. So 30 to go, first round. Yeah, nice punches from Goodman. Left hook, right hand, landed well. Nice hook as well. And Mark Schliebs, just a little bit of sting going out of his punches already. Started like a house on fire. And now Sam Goodman. Geez, it'll be a tough environment up there. 5,000 people screaming for your blood. So Goodman shoves him with his left hand, pushes him back, lands a good jab at the bell. So that's the end of round one. I'm going to give that round just to Sam Goodman. I thought Mark Schliebs was good for the first 2 minutes, but I thought Sam Goodman just come on a little bit at the end and landed a good left hook right hand and another left hook after that as well. So I'm going to give that round to Sam Goodman. Pretty close, but you got to give it to someone, and I'm giving it to him. What's that? Luke kind of want Mark to win to really stick it to no limit. Well, geez, that's the last thing they'd need, wouldn't it? If Mark Schliebs beat Sam Goodman tonight after Isaac Hardman's loss as well. And so the other big fight they're looking for Isaac Hardman is the Andre Mikhailovich fight, who's just come over from DNL to no limit. Now, what happens with that fight? So Carl's getting dirty. Not so much. There was a bit of a shove with the left hand from Sam Goodman, but apart from that, it wasn't too bad. Good, nice, good round, I thought. Really good round. Joshua Mitchell says, stupid fight for Goodman, no limit, not doing any favours for him. And Jules says, better first round than 90% of people expected. Yeah, I agree, Jules. Good round. As I said, I gave it just to Sam Goodman, but I wouldn't argue if someone gave it to Mark Schliebs. Not a bad right hand there, and a left hand as well. Oh, nice. Good overhand right from Sam Goodman. Pushes Mark Schliebs back. And as I said in the start, nice counter left hook from Schliebs, though. The size difference is significant, I think. What do we got there? Yeah, no legs, all right. Maybe Hardman's opponent is just better than we all think. This is so similar to when Lara went to UK and beat Warrington. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to ruffle a few feathers, D-style, no doubt about that, because they were, I don't know whether you heard, but they were talking that Isaac might be in line to fight Jamal Charlo. So there goes that one. I know you've probably never really heard much of Isaac, but... So we're in a minute into the second round, and I was going to say Isaac Hardman. Sam Goodman really starting to put them together well now. And Mark Schliebs slowed down even, what are we? Oh, nice right hand. I think Mark might be hurt. Sam Goodman pouring the punches on, although Mark Schliebs comes back with a good left hook right hand. He does look fatigued, though, does Mark. I don't know how someone could look so tired halfway through the second round. And now he's starting to clinch. I think he might be in a bit of trouble here, guys. He is punching back, but Sam Goodman just taking on the gloves and elbows. He's not concerned at all. And he's really starting to line Mark Schliebs up and tee off as he backs him into the red corner. And he's starting to throw and land bombs, is Sam Goodman. And Mark Schliebs starting to really hold on now. I can't believe... left hook, head, body. Mark Schliebs trying to fight back, but he looks tired. That's all I can probably say. And Sam Goodman hasn't even got out of neutral yet by the looks of things. Right hand, left hook. Good punches coming from Sam Goodman now. Nice right hand. I will say, guys, I'm a big believer in if you talk it up, you got to back it up. And so far, Mark Schliebs looks like he's almost had enough. And Sam Goodman, I think he's going to take pleasure in raining down on Mark Schliebs. So Nath, to be fair, Mark normally doesn't fight in his weight class. Well, but he still took the fight though, Nath. Heard the same thing against Rocky Ogden and Brock Jarvis. You take the fight, you take the fight. It's simple as that. So I'm not really going to wear that for this one. I know he took the Brock Jarvis. There's the end of the second round. He took the Jarvis fight during COVID. I think he just wanted to get on a no-limit card, which is why he took the Ogden fight, but no excuses for this one. He took the fight at 122, then so be it. Looking that way at the moment, D-style. Goodman for the KO. But Schliebs just looks fatigued. For someone that says he's super fit and super hard and everything else, what is he, the magic man? I think the Magic Man is going to disappear within the next couple of rounds by the looks of things. And Big J said under 3. He might be right. Carl, who was this Charlo guy you speak of? Yeah, good call there, mate. D-Style, Goodman by decision. Well, I would have had him by decision too, D-Style, but so far we're seeing a Sam Goodman we don't normally see, and that's a Sam Goodman who's going after Mark Schliebs and really teeing off. We normally see him cautious, jabbing head, body, looking for the right punches, being smart as you do it at elite level, but this one against Mark Schliebs, he's going for it. All right, into round number 3. Let's see if Mark Schliebs can show us something. Sam Good just looks so comfortable. Jab to the head, although he took a right hand there. This seems to be the trend, though. Mark Schliebs starts quick, and within 30 seconds to a minute, he's done. And that's when Sam Goodman picks it up. Good jabs from Sam Goodman there. 2 or 3 jabs in a row. Nice punches from Sam. He's really starting to get his range now. And you just get the feeling as he gets steps closer that this is getting closer and closer to being over. The thing is, as I said, Mark Schliebs starts quick in the first 30 seconds, then fades, and then as soon as Sam Goodman gets close, starts landing multiple punches one after the other. So, yeah, good jabbing from Sam Goodman. And so far, I've got to say, the Magic Man has not shown anything. As Sam Goodman rips to the head and body, good shots. Does come back with a good shot, does Schliebs, but again, looks absolutely exhausted. Good body shots from Sam, right hand to the head, nice, and Mark's in trouble. Right hands now landing one after the other. He's not moving either, is Schliebs, and his punches have just lost all explosiveness out of them. On the ropes now, not the right place to be. Clinching, gets pushed off by Sam Goodman. He's being patient though, Sam, which is good. I don't know why the announcer decides to yell during the round, but anyway. I think that's going to happen, D-Style. The Magic Man's in a bit of trouble. He's sitting on the ropes now, eating head shots to the head, body, and he's not moving. And he just looks completely spent. He does fight back, but I think Sam Goodman's finally just probably got out of neutral in the first gear. That's how he looks. It just looks completely comfortable in there at the moment. Massive payday there, D-Style. Ella, I don't think you got too much to worry about there. Yes. Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the Brock Jarvis fight here, just taking shots, not moving, and just being overpowered by a bigger guy. Sam Goodman, look, he's looking very, very good. So we've got 15 seconds left in the 3rd round. And Mark Schliebs in trouble. Nice. Left hook, right hand. Another right hand. And Mark Schliebs, I'd be surprised. No, he's going to survive the round. But so far, guys, has not... Well, I won't say he hasn't fired a shot because he started off okay, but just a dominant performance from Sam Goodman so far. Mark Schliebs looks absolutely exhausted in the corner. They haven't even taken out his mouth guard. And you're almost at the point where you'd pull him out. Totally exhausted and has not turned up, I don't think, because Sam Goodman has just dominated this fight. And the referee in the corner at the moment asking him if he wants to go on. And I think they're going to give him one more round. Dave, it is. He looks so comfortable. We're not going to call it off, are we? No, surely not. No, we're going to keep going. Would love pay-per-view numbers for this. Can't imagine they are that high. I'm thinking 500 to 1,000 tops, Luke. That's about it. Where is the fight held? Wollongong, Lil Penny in New South Wales. Mark's corner, yeah, I think so. I would say if he doesn't do something in this round, they will call it. Schliebs is the kind of fighter that needs to be saved from himself when the time comes, refuse to hold. Well, is it brave or anything, Jules, or is this silly? This is the thing. Isaac didn't do it either. Sometimes the best fighters hold and clinch when they need to hold and clinch. There's nothing brave about not holding on and getting knocked out. It just doesn't make sense. All right, so we are almost a minute into the fourth round. Mark Schliebs looks like he's decided to not trade with Sam Goodman this round and hopefully try and get his legs back, although now he finds himself back on the ropes. And like the previous three, Sam Goodman teeing off, and I think we're not far away from either the towel coming in or the referee stopping the fight because Mark Schliebs is dusted. Exhausted. I don't think he's necessarily hurt, but he looks completely spent and exhausted, and Sam Goodman is just having the time of his life. Nice body shot, hook to the body. And Mark Schliebs in close but not clinching, which I just don't understand. I think we're not far away, guys, from either Mark quitting or him being saved by someone. He's just not punching back. Sam Goodman he's on the ropes. Right hand, left hook, and he's waved it off. All over. So at about 1 minute 40 of the fourth round, Sam Goodman wins by stoppage in probably No Limit's worst nightmare. They put on a very, very average main event, and there's Big J. I'll get Big J on. Big J, what's wrong? You're a round off.
Well, mate, when you're a man of my integrity and intelligence, occasionally you're allowed to be wrong. But, I mean, within one round, that's not too bad. But the thing is, mate, he looked good. But remember, that's a blown-up bantamweight that he didn't stop. The ref stopped it. He didn't knock him out.
No, he didn't. No.
I mean, Sam Goodman is a volume puncher. He's not a power puncher. He's like Daniel Geale. He'll break you down and wear you out and win on points.
Yeah.
But when you get to that elite area, like with Inoue, Inoue's got the highest knockout rate of anyone, even higher than Tyson, 90-something%. So he wants to pray. If he gets the Inoue fight, he'll take it. But he wants to pray he's got very good health insurance or whatever. Because he's going to get beaten up worse than what I'm going to do to that chump McAllister. So
I think Cole Champion wants a crack. I think, mate. But
oh please, he wouldn't last a round.
Mate,
he was busy looking at pictures of Ebony.
on a serious note, though, I know we've all talked about what a joke the card is. I mean, this has to be even worse than what we thought.
Low level. To call it a joke's unfair. It's just low level. It's a club show. Call it a joke's not. Putting it on pay-per-view is a joke, but the card itself is just a club show.
Yeah, well, that's probably what I'm getting at. I mean, not the card itself. I think was okay for a Wednesday night fight night or
absolutely, but
whatever.
It's not a $50 pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As far as, do you think No Limit tonight when they go home and count the numbers and maybe get some feedback and everything else, the feedback about having this as a pay-per-view?
Yeah, well, I think it'll do very, very poorly. As everyone, I don't think there's too many people. I mean, even the pub here, there's 20 people watching it.
Yeah.
And the pub's giving it away for free.
Yeah.
And the pubs, they pay $1,500 for these things. It's not cheap.
Nah.
So,
well, 20 people, they probably made a couple $100 profit out of the night. So, interesting. So, Sam Goodman's just got his hands raised. I'm just interested to see whether they actually congratulate each other or not. No, it doesn't look like it.
well, I mean, you've got to, as you said, there's not much bravery involved in getting your head kicked in. That's not brave. That's bloody stupid. And Mark Schliebs, I think he knew what he was in for, but, I mean, you've got to give him props for at least having a crack because, let's be honest, he saved the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did. Just quickly there, so Little Penny, we do have regular boxing, Little Penny, but this one was on pay-per-view. And the big flare up about it is that they've charged $50 for pay-per-view and no one deems it a paper-worthy card. So they do have Wednesday night fights.
Anyone who paid $50 for that, that's on you.
Yeah, well, I did. But I have to for the show.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. I mean, the amount of money me and Terrell have spent on, not me, him, on fights, and you just go, this isn't worth two shillings and 2 pence.
No,
it's
not
not worth the ball. So
A few comments coming through there. Deserved
yeah,
an opportunity to fight on the main. It's not his fault. Sleeves was crap. No, it's not Sam Goodman's fault. He just wanted to fight. So,
well, Sleeves is a blown up bantamweight who's got one hook. That's it.
yeah.
So, I mean, when's the last time he actually fought a bantamweight? What was his last fight, bantamweight?
Sleeves, no, I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, he excelled in that fight, but yeah, they put him up against Brock Jarvis, who just beat the crap out of him, and Sam just touched him up for 4 rounds. So, I mean, what can you do? But as I said, I mean, Fox Sports and No Limit have paid themselves into a corner with
Not good.
with this exclusivity deal. I mean,
Yeah.
they've bitten off more than they can chew. It's quantity, not quality shows.
Yeah.
Because last year they could do no wrong because all their shows were quality.
Yeah, no, I agree. All good, Chad.
A couple of the club shows were a bit meh, but I mean they were club shows on Fox Sports, so
Yeah,
you really
yeah.
can't complain about that. But,
What do you think next week, speaking of that, Nathaniel May and Brian Kasama as the main event and just 2 fights on the undercard?
who?
Nathaniel May, Brian Kasama is the main event. Yeah, exactly. So,
Who's Brian? Who? I know.
is there a
Nathaniel
replacement
May.
for Tyson Lantry?
Yeah, it was unfortunate that Landry got injured, but that wasn't a
Yeah.
main event fight anyway.
Nah.
I mean, if George isn't watching this, but if he's got, tell him to break out 50 grand. I'll split it with McAllister, and we'll jump in the ring because you know. I mean, surely if they got money to throw around, they could throw me a few, Bob. I got kids to feed, so.
Look,
You know.
I think, look, if I was No Limit, I would like to maybe get out of the country as quick as I can and get over to Glendale, Arizona, and then to Las Vegas and just forget about this and move on.
Yeah, is that fight for Wilson officially for the 130 title yet? Is Navarrete moving up?
Nah, it's not for a title. It's just elimination. So,
bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a dead set joke. Navarrete's been teasing he's going to move up for the last 6 months.
Yep.
Oh, that's a joke. That fight
no,
needs,
not fighting for the title.
Well, the WBO need to get off their ass and sanction that. How come Bob hasn't got that done? They're both top-ranked fighters.
Well, when it was announced that Navarrete might be moving up to fight for the lightweight, or he announced his intentions to move up, I remember saying on Talking Boxing that surely that the Wilson Navarrete fight's got to be for the vacant title, but nothing come of it.
Well, until he officially moves up, then he holds up the belt. So,
Yeah.
I mean, same with Crawford. If Crawford moves up to 154, by the rules of the WBO, he's automatically mandatory for Tim.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the only sanctioning body that do that. The others don't. And by the way, if Tim fights Crawford within the next year, Tim's in trouble. I don't think he can get him. Maybe in a year's time, if Crawford's older, maybe, but not at the moment.
Yeah.
It depends on Crawford's inactivity of two. He hasn't fought in almost a year. So,
well, in July it's been a year, hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's, 36 now, 37?
36, yeah.
36, so, yeah, his prime is – he's at the arse end of his prime. And Tim's just demolishing people, but I still can't figure out why the hell Tim's fighting bloody Thurman. He's another blown-up, washed-up welterweight. What?
I just think it comes down to timing, mate. I just think they wanted to fight, and it was the biggest name available around this time. I think that's all it comes.
Yeah, that's true, because all the other champions, even if they win titles, those guys aren't ticket sellers. I mean, Fendora possibly. Who won the WBA belt the other day? Madrimov.
Yeah.
That's a massive fight for
That'd be a good
Russian
fight.
crowd.
Yep,
They all would be. And I think Matazaliev, when he fights Jacko K, I really think Matazaliev needs, because he's been waiting 4 years for that.
4 years,
fight, that poor bar. That's the
You'll
IBF should.
okay.
Yeah, the IBF should be a bloody shame of themselves. They let that go on for so long.
Well, hey, they stripped Terence Crawford 2 months after he beat Spence, and they let this guy go 4 years.
Yeah, but to be fair, he agreed to all those 3 dark matches on those undercards.
Yeah,
so that's on.
Yeah.
He agreed to all those 3 dark matches. So, and it was easy paydays and they were easy fights. So why the hell wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So, belts don't put food on the table. The physical belt.
You're right. That's an interesting one, D-Style. Valdez Wilson winner. Likely getting Foster by sounds of it. Yeah, well, I suppose that makes sense. What's that? The WBC? Foster's
WBC, yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
Foster? Hang on, isn't Foster 126 or is he 130?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Who's Shaq Foster? Is that his name? Isn't he
Oh, Sharky
126?
Foster. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure he's 126.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, I'm sure. Big J, I'm going to let you go. I've got another couple of people wanting to come on. I'm going to talk to
Yeah,
you.
I've got enough, mate. We've got enough. So let him have a crack. So
See you,
cheers
mate.
for letting me, mate. See ya.
Thanks, mate. All right, we've got someone. Is that Lil Penny? How you going there, mate?
Good. Where's your other guest?
I can only get two on at one time, mate. So
Oh,
what-
okay.
he's still been in the comments there. What'd you have to say? What did you not obviously watch the fights?
No. I'm actually about to say, but the reason why I came on is because you guys were talking about Navarrete and
Oh, okay. Yep.
and Tank and those guys. I reckon that will be a good fight. Navarrete and Tank. I do think Tank will win though.
Do you? Yeah. No, Tank. Well, do you reckon Navarrete go right up to 140 though?
No, he's at 130 at the moment.
Oh, sorry, he's two. Sorry,
And
he's
going
two.
to
Yeah.
135.
Yeah. So, mate, I've seen you, I think, on D-Style show before.
Yeah.
There he is there. So, where are you based?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
I did study in Australia for a while.
Okay. Well, the
so-
internet must be pretty good over there, mate, because I'm receiving you better than what I did the other guys here in Australia.
Yeah. Probably not enough people. But yeah, the Tank Navarrete fight, I think that will be a good pay-per-view as well because the Mexicans will watch that fight. It won't reach 1.2 million like the Ryan Garcia fight, but I reckon it will be close to like 750, 850 because Tank is a draw.
Yeah. Yep. Just hang on one sec there, mate. What I'm going to do... Just hang on, Carl. What I'm going to do, if I can edit our screen as we go, this is very, very tricky to do, by the way. What I'm going to do is this. So just bear with me, guys. This is live editing if I can do it. See if I can get it done. All right. Now, if we bring in, stay with me, boxing, Carl, the boxing kangaroo. See if we can get to, I did have a spot for two, but
He wants to go on, I think.
all right, number two. I'm going to answer. All right, I'm going to get him over here. I might have to just edit again. So going to push you over there. Just stay with me there, Carl. Where are we? All right. Oh, hang on.
Lyndon, why don't you ask D-Style to use his software because he can add as many people as they can.
I can, mate. I can have as many as I want, but
okay.
I've got to have a screen that I actually edit beforehand, if that makes sense. So I've got to have the template ready to go. So I'm actually editing on the run here. So what I'm going to do, who's that? There he is, number two. There he is. See, look how easy that is. So I've just got to, there we go. Hang on. Carl, how you going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you? Can you
Good. There you go. We're all on.
Look at that.
Do you know Little
Professional.
Penny?
What's up, mate?
Do you know Little Penny there?
Yeah, I do. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I think we've interacted before.
Yeah, mate. We've been on H Moneys and we've been on a few.
Oh, you're an H Money. Yeah, I've been an H Money for a while.
Yeah, I haven't been there for years. But hey, Lyndon, I just want to, mate. I didn't pay for the card. I was protesting tonight.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being fed garbage, mate. As an Australian boxing purist, I think we get fed absolute garbage, mate, and we just have to keep paying. And I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, mate. Well, I think I said at the start, 78% said they weren't going to buy it on the poll that I did. And that showed tonight because there were a lot of people just watching the stream and nearly 99% of them said, I'm just watching your stream to see the results and I'm not going to buy it. I think it's great.
Yep.
Thanks, Tara.
I think they want pay-per-view because there's no budget. There's no one wanted to pay for it. So to get paid, they have to put on pay-per-view, I think, right?
Not this type of card, I wouldn't have thought.
No.
But if the network is not going to pay for it, like, I guarantee, so they have to put it on pay-per-view because no one's going to pay for it, right?
No, but we have it's called what is it, Carl? No Limit on Fox. So they do it half a dozen times a year, and they'll have it's on a Wednesday night. It's free. This is what this fight should have been.
100%.
Yeah, and the pay-per-views are there, but they're reserved for the Tim Zoos and the Keita Zoos and these type of guys. And this fight, with all due respect to someone like Mark Schliebs, he's not an A-level fighter. It's as simple as that. So to ask people to pay $50 for a card that should 100% have been free, it's tough.
Even $50.
Even $20, mate.
Yeah, I agree.
I would pay $20. I'd pay $20, but mate, $50. Come on.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the line tonight, and mate, it was just, I saved me money obviously because I jumped in when Isaac was started Isaac's fight, and just typical garbage. They want to feed us, mate.
Stack the card. Put Jai Apataya on. That's a paper.
Different network,
Tasman,
mate. He's with Tasman, yeah.
And the Zone, he flies under their flag.
So Australia's also got these like the Zone, PBC type politics. Oh man.
Yeah. Well, because over here now you've got No Limit has got the exclusivity to Fox Sports, which is the main network, and then you've got who is it? Carl Icons has got Stan Sport. You've got Tasman has got DAZN, and Angelo DiCarlo's got 7+.
Yep.
Oh, that's ruining boxing at the moment.
What's it like in? Sorry, Carl. What was that?
I was just going to say the 7+ gig once it gets going will be worthwhile.
It'll be good.
I think,
12 shows a year. Yeah, free to air. National level. That's stuff we should be able to see. So good on them for making it, and I hope it builds the sport, mate. Because this topic, it just goes to show how No Limit, mate. They've got these couple of guys that are good fighters. And then there's nothing, mate. The talent pool is really shallow at No Limit. We've got guys tied up in America, and it just goes to show we've got nothing here on a local level when them boys are overseas, which is where they got to be, mate. Let's face it. They have to be fighting in the States to be considered to be world level. Like Tim's done the Aussie scene. Now he's in America trying to conquer that. So, this is what we're going to keep getting fed, mate, from No Limit. And mate, surely tonight would have been a dive. Yeah. Disastrous, you would think.
This was saying that pay-per-view in America is $80. So convert that to...
It's about 125 Australian.
Yes, maybe we should consider ourselves lucky.
Well, for D-Style, they're 30 American for our shows, yeah. But look, it's more the principle of the thing. I think, Carl, here you'll agree. I think even if we got charged $20 or $25, there's still been a lot of people said still not good enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember King Kong Ortiz used to fight nobodies and it was on pay-per-view, but at least Ortiz is a name and he fought Wilder. Whereas Sam Goodman, who has he fought?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on the up, mate. He's
on the up.
What is he? 17, 18 fights or something. He's just cracking the scene and
ranked.
Good on him, mate. Good on him.
Yeah.
He fought on every one of Tim's undercards.
He did.
Mate.
He's ranked
on every one of them.
Is it the WBO and WBC? Maybe he's ranked number 1 with 2 organisations.
What class is he in?
122.
Anyway, he's got to fight monster. Poor bugger. He's in the wrong era.
No, but either way, we'll move up to 126 probably, maybe next year. So he can claim
he said he wants to hang around and defend his titles a couple of times.
Yeah,
so.
We'll see. All right, guys. Well, we're going to actually probably have to call it a night in a second, but thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. I'm glad the stream actually works properly having 2 ears on there. Next time, I promise, we do our next live stream, I'll make sure there's 2 or 3 room for 2 or 3, so I'm not editing on the run. So,
and let's get some arguing happening.
Yes, we need a show. I think we need a show where it's purely just
bit of spite, mate. Bit of spite. The Yanks.
You need some Americans to come in to
It's the time difference, though. That's the only problem.
Oh,
yeah, it's early this morning over there.
What do you reckon, though, Carl? We should actually have. I think Carl might have suggested a few times. We'll have a thing where we have 3 or 4 of us on, and we can just talk like they do on the American ones.
100%, mate. I'm down. I'm down with that.
Maybe when when's the next good card that comes on? When's the next good one? Tim Cameron.
Liam Wilson is on the 29th, which is the 30th.
The night before, yeah. yeah, I'm looking forward to that, mate. I can't wait to see Liam.
Yep.
I think he's the goods, mate. And let's go, Liam. Let's show D-Style what this Aussie's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, awesome. Nah, good stuff, guys. Appreciate you coming
Good
on.
talking to you, mate.
See you, boys.
Take care, Lyndon. All the best.
Thanks, mate. All right. Well, there you go. That was a little bit unscheduled, but maybe we do have to have a show where it's the panel's there and you can come on if you want and just debate. And we need a good time for the Americans, though. D-Star, what's the best time to come on? Maybe we've got to do it, which would be Saturday night morning here, which would be Friday night over there, because it might be hard during a weekday here. But it'd be good to have a little bit of banter between the Americans, Australians, and the Poms. So, yeah, there you go. There you go, D-Style. We can have an Australian version of the round table. What do you reckon? So we might have to pinch that one off you. All right, guys, that's about it. It is about 10:42 in the evening here in Melbourne, Australia. Really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. We had some really good numbers a few times there, but next Wednesday night, we'll see how we go with the Nathaniel May card. But it is what it is, especially when I go to the States. We'll be definitely doing some shows over there after the Liam Wilson fight and after the Tim Tszyu fight. I'll be going live from the venue. So I'll be coming to you live from Glendale. I'll be coming to you live from Las Vegas, and we'll do a similar thing that we just did then. If you want to come on, hopefully the internet works okay, and we might do a live from the actual sites of the fights themselves. So yeah, D-Style for sure. Yep. Got to have you as a special guest, though, mate. So, all right, guys, thanks very much. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.